Initial jobless claims numbers just coming through here from last week. 224,000 versus a consensus 212,000, so higher than expected there. Again, 224 versus 212 consensus, 218,000 forecast. Again, on the initial jobless claims number, we'll also get, coming up at 9:45, S&P Global Manufacturing PMI data. That can move the market. The ISM number, a little more closely watched as far as the market is concerned. Again, PMI for January coming through, so 9:45 and 10 o'clock. Mark those down on your calendars for the morning as well. A little bit later on in the day, we do have some auctions to be aware of. They're very short term, 4-week, 8-week, and then 5-year mortgage rates coming, or 15-year and 30-year mortgage rates coming out as well around lunchtime. So a lot to get to this morning as far as earnings are concerned as well. Qualcomm, top of the list this morning, although not really doing a heck of a lot. We do have a little bit of a bounce coming into play here this morning, which is good to see after the negativity yesterday following Fed Chair Powell that came out and threw some cold water, let's be honest, on the market rally and talked very hawkishly about when they could start raising rates. And if you missed it, I mean, to sum it up, he essentially said, yes, the last 6 months have been very good and exactly what they want to see, but it's just not enough yet. And they want to see more data still supporting the fact that they are continuing to move inflation back towards 2%. So some of these interest rate cuts getting priced out for the time being, pushed to later in the year. Guess what? It is February 1st, 2024. Tradertv.live starts now. Yeah, there you go. Another look if you're just joining a little late there. 224,000 on the initial jobless claims from last year. That's versus 218,000 expected there. We'll also get some PMI data coming up a little bit later in the morning, 9:45 and 10 o'clock. Not much of a reaction there from the overall market to those numbers, but we are positive on the morning, 0.5% right now for the NASDAQ, 0.3 here for the S&P, or 0.4. For the SPY, that's interesting. Am I on the right contract? Might not be on the right futures contract there. Futures 0.3, the SPY 0.42 right now. So I will have a look at that. Oil back to the upside right now as well, just taking out session highs, 1.17 for crude oil. So a little bit of a bounce possibly after that sell-off we had yesterday.
Yeah, interesting. We'll have to see what the rest of the day brings. But I did expect Jerome Powell to be a bit more hawkish, especially with how dovish he was last time around and what precipitated thereafter, because then we started moving up like, we moved up aggressively towards the end of the year there. Lots to talk about today, Brendo. Tesla on watch, Qualcomm, NVDA, Peloton, all with big headlines.
Yeah, it was interesting that that one specific question seemed to be the one that kind of, broke the rally because the initial move when Fed Chair Powell took to the mic was up for the overall market. And then there's that one specific question where he came back with, at this point, they just don't have enough data and enough evidence to support a March rate cut. And then that was what triggered the sell-off basically right into the close. So will it be May? Will it be June? Will it be September? Remains to be seen. Remember, coming up in March, we get the next economic projections from the Fed as well. So that'll be very key. So a lot riding on the March meeting, but doesn't look like we're going to get a rate cut with that. Neil is off today. Obi in for Neil. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Obi. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I was just going to call up the March rate, Fed 2.0 rate now to see what it was, because last night on the recap show, as you're one of the traders that stays late.
A little bit.
So that's nice. You're the only one, I think, actually. Here it is right here, 64.5%. I mean, didn't he say that they're not cutting bait, like pretty much for sure? Pretty much for sure. Does that make sense? But anyway, 64%. I think that's supposed to be up here somewhere, because I think that they're going to be dependent on the data as they continue to say. And he said based on this current meetings that he did not think there was enough push to get that through. And I just think that higher rates for longer, although not horrible if you're an investor, because this could give you a good opportunity to buy names like Microsoft, Google. Google down yesterday, down 7 and change percent, giving a little bit back today on the upside. Still think we could fade out a little bit. But if you're going to look at the NASDAQ, here's a 30-minute chart. And I mean, honestly, we talked about this yesterday. When Brendan and I were, well, I won't throw Brendan under the bus. As I was putting my makeup on for the afternoon show, I said to Brendan, I said, you know what? I think we're going to go down regardless of what happens with the Fed. We were just up here for a little bit, and we weren't going any higher. The thing is, we didn't get great reports from those three. And then now today we wait for 3 more. That would complete these Super 6, because, you know, Tesla's out of it now, Obi. Oh, wow, we got your guy coming today, Amazon. So we have lots of talk in that. But if we go back to the screen just real quick, I couldn't figure out what the next story would be that would create this next leg higher. But the thing is there's actually nothing wrong with the story as a whole, because we still have a good unemployment or employment situation, pretty much full employment, right? We don't have too much of a disinflation situation. We're still at that number. We've got a 2 handle in inflation, right? We don't want to talk about stagflation yet. Interest rates, although high, still seem to be okay. The consumer, we saw Starbucks although they didn't beat, their number was okay. We're going to see today of the retail side with Amazon. But look at this NASDAQ. It's not like me and Brendan talked about, hey, that's not even a blip on the radar. You still can pull back 600 points to get back into the 50-period moving average, where we just were a week and a half ago. So, like, if you pull back down a week and a half, that's not even that bad, and I think those are good buying spots. So let's just see what happens with the rest of this earnings cycle. I don't know. The main problem is valuations. We're at pretty much near an all-time high on PE for the S&P 500. So that's going to be a little bit of a problem. But at least it's not just the tech names that have been working. We talked about this yesterday. Industrials like a Caterpillar is near the highs. Right. Home Depot is near highs. There's lots and lots of opportunity here. Financials are, we talked about JP Morgan, how well that name is doing. I'm excited to buy some of these dips. I just don't think it's time to do that yet.
Yeah, I think it's been an interesting start to the year, and we just talked about this as well. January for gold was red, so a little bit of a pullback on the markets as well. And we were looking for that 5,000 on the ES, 500 on SPY, and 18,000 on the NQs, and we're kind of catching a little bit of a pullback. And I think, like you pointed out,
we're at 49 on the S&P.
Yeah, it's just a blip. Like, it's well within trend. We could still pull back a little bit more and still be perfectly fine.
I think pullbacks are somewhat healthy because it will actually give us opportunity to get more money in. If there's money on the sidelines, when will that enter the market? Probably on dips. Actually, there was a study put out, and maybe I should save this for the podcast.
Nice.
But what I was thinking is that there was a study, I was listening to another podcast, Obi, and they said that someone did a study that if you just bought the stock market on random days,
right,
okay, and you held your portfolio for the last 20 years, you would actually be up more if you bought every time we were at all-time highs. Meaning that once we get all-time highs, it just continues to go higher. Because sometimes you might buy here, but then the market continues to go down.
Right.
But if you're buying highs, the study was that your portfolio would be higher doing that strategy than just buying, once every quarter, something like that.
Yeah, true.
Interesting.
And by the market, you mean like S&P 500?
Yeah, just the S&P. Yeah. I don't know if it was S&P or the NASDAQ, but it was one of those.
Yeah, no, I always say this. It's almost as if it's like it's rigged to do well. The best performing companies get brought in, and the worst performing companies out of the 500 get kicked out. So it's like it's almost rigged to just continue going up over time.
Well, that's and again, there's more data about the fact that you're not going to beat. Stock pickers do not beat the overall index. There's been studies about that, right? So, but anyways, it's always a stock picker's market, especially when you're day trading.
Oh yeah.
So we got this sticky note. I'm trying to work on the sticky note here, but we're having this conversation. And then we got to go back over the desk to 2 experts of conversation. It's going to be Sharif and Brendan.
Depends on what number of coffee I am at, but you know, we'll get there eventually today. We're very, we were disappointed this morning. There was no almond milk in the kitchen, but
Yeah, what's up?
anyway. Yeah, we got to get that sorted out ASAP. Q1 2024 members for Peloton, 6.4 million, down from 6.5 million prior, 6.7 million year over year, so that's not good. Overall, the actual numbers, Peloton reported, if you missed it, overall the actual numbers, financial numbers, not great either, back to $5 here this morning.
Look, Brendo, I mean, they narrowed the loss that they had last quarter. So last time around, they lost about almost $200 million. This time they only lost, sorry, last time around, they lost about $335 million. This time they only lost about $200 million. Revenue was down, though, significantly. $743 million is what they reported in revenue. Last time around, they reported almost $800 million. And the guide was not what the street wanted. They were guiding between $700 million to $725 million for next quarter. The street was looking for $750 million.
But remember when TikTok was supposed to like save the day for Peloton? Peloton, sorry. Whatever happened with that?
Well, Peloton, Brendan, its bottom is $4. I mean, here, hold on. I just don't want to throw too much shade at this name because there's so many crappy names right now. But I mean, this bottom at 450, we went from 450 to 7. So that wasn't too bad. But look at that. This is called the 200-period moving average. Hi, I'm Sean. I'm not a CMT, and I don't really even know what I'm doing. But look at this. Bounce, bounce, bounce. You know, it's just like, okay. So I feel like we are going to retest these bottoms. But the thing is that you have a 15% short, 15% short float on Peloton, right? According, thank you to our friends over at Trade Ideas. You know, so I think we could actually bounce off this. You know, down 7%. One of the best trades, I don't know if it was Peloton, but it was on something very, very similar to this, where they came, I think it was Peloton, I think it was this day actually, on Peloton, where this must have been some sort of an announcement. Maybe it was, I don't know, maybe it was TikTok, I don't even know what that story is about. But down into here, $5, we could hold $5. So long story short, you could hold $5. I actually think it's probably worth the shot at that, but you're gonna need a flush early. So this is my play on this stock. Pretty simple. You see, you're nowhere near any of this. All right, so you're all the way down here. You're gonna let it flush out. It was not a good quarter. You're down 7.5%. Everybody that thought we could maybe hold 550 is going to be getting out today. It's a 10% hit. It's not that bad. If I was long Peloton and I came in, it was not a good quarter. I see this reaction. I'd probably get out on open, I think, because you're holding against this 550. It breaks 550. You put a marketable order or something in there right off the open, and what that's going to do is scream this thing down. It's actually happening right now. Why don't we get short first? We talked about this yesterday. Before we start talking about these names, we should take a position. But okay, well, now we're okay. So, all right. Well, it's happening as we speak, Obi. Yeah. Randomly at 8:40, this is happening. Okay. Anyways, there goes Peloton, just flush 20 cents as we're talking about it. I think the play is let it flush down right off the open, let the real liquidity come in, then wait for that bottom, and what? Bang, hit a trade at that bottom, but you got to wait for that. So I feel like the best play on this one would be 9:31 or so, maybe even earlier than that. You take your first position, you see what that bottom possibly is. You take, if you're taking 1,000 shares, you take 100 shares. You wait for that bottom to hit. If you see that hit at 490, take that 100 shares, right? Then, if you're breaking back through 5, punch the rest of the 900. Then you use that 490 as your bottom, Obi. Boom. And then all of a sudden, Travolta's like, maybe, you know?
Yeah, no, I like that look. The $5 area to interact with, I think
you're there right now.
Yeah, it's pretty much right there. I also kind of measured out. It's already down like a little over 10% off of the close. So I'm like, all right, when is this thing going to get to SSR? Around 470s. So I think
perfect.
that.
So there.
Yeah, exactly. Just
in that
area.
Calculated SSR. Look at this guy. This guy putting in the work over here.
I just take the close. I just took the close, and I was just like, how much is 15% down? That's around 470s. I was like, all right, well, it's right about there. It's about a quarter away from 470s. So if we open up 470s,
this is why you're
open up.
This is why you're next level. I was just like, let's just wait for a level. And you're just like, no, 470.
No. I mean, that's an area where I want to look at the tape. I don't want to be like, oh,
get that-
470. I just want to,
Just do me a favor. Let's,
Yes.
if we, one of us has to have it up on one of their screens. So we're going to have to watch it with some concern.
Fine. We always call some of these levels out and then end up
that's what I
kind of
mean.
missing them.
Oh, be nice. Yes, I like that one. Oh, be nice instead of oh, be trice. Yeah, shout out to Bob in the chat there. All right. Yes, it's distinctly. Yeah, what was that distinctly different from? I missed that.
I just
I know
was
Sharif
talking to-
mentioned it earlier.
Sharif was like, yeah, because I say it a lot, and he's like, I was just kind of explaining myself. I was just like, oh, because I like to look at relative change and relative difference. So it's like, oh, this is distinctly different than before.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll leave it with you too.
All right, let's bring in Luis Barbado if he's ready. Fabian, give me a thumbs up here and we'll, okay, good, let's go. Lots to get to on the small cap side of things this morning. Good to see you, Luis. From the Day Trade the World office over in, is it sunny today, Barcelona, Spain?
Yeah, quite sunny today, and for the last 3 or 4 days, it's been quite sunny.
We're actually, I saw this morning, we're actually going to get a few days in a row here of some sunshine in Toronto, but definitely not as warm. Everybody talking about this minimum, Luis. Give us your take. MINM just taking out day highs, 2 days in a row here to the upside for this one. What are you thinking?
Yeah, second day running, as you say. For us, it was very, very important, this VWAP level on 470s. We were waiting if it was holding below these VWAP levels on 470s pre-market to see some weakness. It haven't, as you see, it broke this VWAP after 3 or 4 attempts, broke this VWAP level and is in highs again for a second day in a run. It's going to be interesting. Let's see if it consolidates there around 490, over 5 always, and get some shorts stuck in the position. Shorts were kind of comfortable under the VWAP. Now they are really being squeezed here. So if it consolidates in a flag around these highs, we could see $6 today.
A great example, and I want to hit on that, and you just touched on it a little bit there as well. If you go back to yesterday, one of those little small cap stocks that makes a big move initially in the morning, but then does end up failing, and the volume goes away, the price action goes away, and we just kind of fade out throughout the entire session. A lot of people sit around trying to, pick tops and pick, where it should end. How is it that we go about, waiting for price to tell us when the move higher is done and we can start laying into a short?
Sometimes it's more about the cycle of the market. If we are seeing a very strong market in the small caps, it is very tricky to do this top picking. You better wait until the backside is built. But sometimes we are in a weak small cap market, so everything that pump usually goes short front side and it dumps all the way back. Nowadays, for the last, let's say, couple of weeks, since we have huge runner like RVSN, NYSE, CRVP, once we have this huge runner like 300, 500%, then you really have to be aware of going short front side and waiting more for the backside. So, it's all about market cycles right now. Small caps are running. It's never enough. It looks like it's never enough, 100%, 200%. So you don't want to go and catch that knife. You better wait for the backside.
All right,
As
here's
I
another.
say, we also have some pump and dump during pre-market, for example, today.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one. Here's another one. I want to get your take on this as well that also ran yesterday on some positive news. Here's Plug Power up another, what is it, better part of 6 or 7, actually more than that now, 13, 14% for Plug, back to $5 as well. Again, if anyone missed it, there was news yesterday in the pre-market about a loan facility that came through from the US government that got this going. There is a short percent here, Lewis.
Yeah, I don't think that is such a small cap. It's 500 million float or something like that. Which is important here is the short float. We are around 30% of the float short. So it's a lot of million shares short in the stock. We don't know when, probably in the mid-term or long-term, but they're gonna get a squeeze if we keep running up. We have a resistance here around $5 level, which was very important, and then we will see $6 resistance. It shouldn't go farther, but with this huge short float, you have to take it into account that they are going to get a stack. They're losing 30%, 40% of the winning they were making in this stock. So the stock is down from $13 non-stop to $2. So it's a nice and healthy rebound, let's say.
All right, a few other ones here. This ELAB, I saw a few people mentioning this. One of those ones that's kind of right around the $1 level. And then there's the AUVI and NRBO. Where do you want to go here?
ELAB, as well as CMND and KPRX, all these stocks were pump and dump pre-market. They're losing a lot of interest here, a lot of volume. So let's say it's not going to be so crowded during the market once it opens. This one, it was a clear example. You could go front side short if the news were not that good and you trust the float and the short float, you could have gone short there. It was a little bit too early for me to take shorts pre-market, but it was a nice chance. So we're going to avoid these ones unless they do a little bit rebounds against BWAP or against some level in the tape that it will give us confidence to go short. No long on these ones, of course, no crowded, no more volume anymore after the market opens. NRBO is a 3 million float stock. Biotech with, I think, was phase 1 news. So that could run. It has retraced, I think, to 450 or something like that. Yeah, 420s now. Let's see if it holds here for a push pre-market and try to reach this $5 level, which is the big one now, to try to short there against these rebounds.
One of those ones that typically pops up when we get one of these cycles, as you were mentioning, AUVI, a bit of a tricky one over, I think it was about a week ago, had a decent sized move in it as well. What are you thinking for AUVI today?
AUVI. Okay, I didn't check this. Yeah, it's a classic, as you say, a classic stock that it pumps every time that we have a run in a small cap market. The stock is dead. I mean, it's going zero. It's going bankrupt for sure. We have a 25. I think I remember a 25-1 reverse split not many days ago, like maybe a month ago, something like that. It made it rebound from $2 to $4, $5. But this is the kind of stock I will go short front side without kind of a confidence, that it's going to pull back during the day to close near the open again. So we will take shorts in this one unless it shows very big strength when the market opens above 320s, 330s. We will go short on this one, waiting for the VWAP to fail.
Great stuff. Anything else on your radar here, Luis, this morning?
We're going to keep looking NYSE and RVSN. Few days already running, crazy movements on both of them. Let's see, we have like the first big red day. We need some pullback to resistance to go short, but it would be nice to see. Both of the stock are like 1,000% up in few days. So let's see, we catch some nice shorts on these ones.
Perfect. Luis Barbato joining us from the Day Trade the World office over in Barcelona, Spain. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Brendan. Say hi to Sean. And Neil is not there. Where is Neil? Anyway.
Neil has a day off. Will do. Thank you.
That's good. Thank you, Brendan.
Well, hi, my friend again. And yeah, this is Obi right here. So Obi, meet Luis. And that's a lot of fun. Yeah. And actually, this comes right in line right now. Thank you to Soldier for Christ. Differing views. Sean, Neil, Obi, Luis as well, Sharif, Brendan, everybody in here enrich the community. It breaks the silence of the unchallenged opinions in our mind. This diversity of thought that makes this the best show in town. I love the hashtag there. Like hashtag TraderTv.live. So thank you so much for that super chat, of course. So yeah, look, there you go. If you're looking for the smaller caps or the micro caps or possible running stocks like that, there you go. You have an office there in Barcelona. And that's really, I would just say rewind for 10 minutes there, see what Luis was talking about. He went over so many names for me to go over any of them. We went over Peloton, which cracked 5, by the way, went down to 495. I think that would be in the same similar bucket to what Luis was just talking about there on, potentially big runners, now down 10%. The thing about this, when we started talking about Peloton, it was down 7%. Now you're down 10%, so that's 3%. You're welcome, algos. So right there, that's a good move to the downside. I think now we could pop back up. It got pretty close to your 470 level there. It got to 495. So we just put the sticky note out, and we wrote down 450 as that bottom, but 470 looked like a good spot to start on that one. I want to thank Luis for coming through on those ideas. And yeah, that's what makes a strong community, is different styles of trading, different opinions, and more importantly, hopefully some winning trades.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with that. And so now something I've been reading as of late. I'm on the second Market Wizards book, and something interesting that I've found is like there have been some really good traders in the past with distinctly different opposing views even.
Oh yeah.
Right, and they have distinctly different views on how the market works and what their perspective on the market is, but they all make money. So it's like, what's the factor that really kind of puts you over the top? And I found that it was just risk management, and account management is a huge one, right? Yep. Over time. And yeah, no, very interesting. So yeah, I think there is a lot of value in kind of having your thoughts and ideas challenged, and I love that all the time. And I'm learning. And I think the best way to learn is to have your ideas shot down and actually go through the process of being like, okay, well, how can I change my mindset, or how can I really kind of understand the other point of view, and that definitely helps for growth.
I mean, one of the best, what everybody says is the best way to learn is from your mistakes, you know. And then, I mean, hopefully don't make too many mistakes, but you know, it's nice to know when you're wrong.
You gotta be good at it.
But that's the thing about our business, is it tells you. Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, you look down, oh, that's a red number. Okay, mistakes. So that's a green, because honestly.
But P&L is a lagging indicator of your process, though.
Lagging?
Yeah, P&L is always going to be a lagging indicator of your process.
It's lagging, okay.
Yeah, because like you're working on something, it's not gonna show up in your trading right away, but over time you build that process and you break that threshold. Eventually it'll show up in your P&L. So it's like
I mean,
it's not something I say. It's just I've heard traders say this before, and I do.
I never thought about it as some sort of an indicator, but yeah, that would make sense. The big thing for me to how to control is what you said, is the risk management.
Yeah.
The minute you start seeing something working is when you start to up your share size.
Yeah.
You know, and then once you start to up your share size, then you have also another problem, and that's the mental side of it.
Right.
Because then you worried about your risk tolerance, and I do that all the time. I'll punch long, and I look down, and it's like, oh my God, like I have 1,000 shares of Microsoft or something, and it's like flying around $1, and I'm just like, what? You know, and it's like, and then you look down, and that's why I've thought about hiding the P&L. That's why when you were talking about it as an indicator, there's some traders, and again, to your point, we're going to get to Adara with upgrades and downgrades, but to your point is like, if you're going to sit there and look at your P&L all the time, that could be a block, because like I said, I might have a $5 winner on board, but because I look down and I'm like, I'll take the G, boom, and you get out, and you're like, what have I done? But if you just closed your eyes and said, okay, I like this play to that, and it happens to me all the time, and I'm sure it happens to you, and I know it happens to you because we've sat here before, where you've taken 30 or 40 cents, and then you're like, oh my God, it just broke the level, and now it's $1 in the money.
Right.
You know, and sometimes on Tesla, we'll have $7 or $8 winner, and I'm like, God, I have 20% left. But that's all the process. You can't have process. I don't really have something to throw to you right now. I was going to say something about throwing to the board for upgrades and downgrades, but this is a process that we do every single day, going through upgrades and downgrades. So let's go to the board and see what's up.
AT&T getting an upgrade from neutral to overweight by JP Chase. You can check this one out in the watch list, a little bit more details there, but nice look for AT&T, seeing some nice volume this morning. Qualcomm here after earnings getting a price target increase from TD Cowen, but a downgrade here. Citigroup also downgrading Qualcomm, so lots of mixed analysis thought there. Mondelez getting an upgrade from Citigroup. This one did report earlier this week as well. And Kraft Heinz with the Citigroup upgrade here, last but not least, for the upgrades. Then we have New York Community Bancorp starting off the list of downgrades. This one had a really big move to the downside yesterday following an earnings miss across the board. Jefferies Financial downgrading this one. Lennox getting a downgrade from JP Chase. PPG Industries with a downgrade here from Redbird Atlantic, and last but not least, Morgan Stanley downgrading Zoom Info, guys.
Thank you.
Looking at 187 now on Apple. I don't have that on the sticky note. All right, so the name of most interest, obviously, we had Qualcomm with earnings. Right. We'll be getting to that. But the thing about it is this: I wish, because I
thought that was real for a second. I was like, well, how did that happen?
See, that happened to me yesterday, and then I actually. So yesterday when that happened, I looked over and I was typing something. I told this to Fabian after the market. I thought Randy was there. Like, I just kept going. I was like, okay, Neil will talk to Randy and blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to do, like, I looked over and saw him there. And I was like, okay, he's there. Do that again. Like.
That's wild. That's
right.
Like instant translocation.
Right. It's like, and that's his look that he has. Like, that's one of the best parts about, you know. And so I thought that was Randy yesterday.
Yeah, it got me.
Yeah, I was like, okay, he's probably here. He can talk about Tesla or something. Let me just finish what I was doing. And then Neil's like, what the hell? That's not Randy. I'm like, what? But that's not fair because I was hoping for a coffee. So now that's like a double fail for me. So like, boom. But no, I was going to say, NYCB here, New York Community Bank yesterday, issues again possibly of, well, we'll see. It was a bad earnings report. People talking about, will they be able to hold their book? And I just don't know. I'm not sure about insolvency or anything like that. But the last time we saw some major moves like this, the banks, some of them ceased to exist too much later on. So I would just say figure out what's going on with this bank. It seems to be relatively. We'll have to see some more earnings coming through, but hopefully, like it was the first time, it was relatively isolated with First Republic, and we had Silicon Valley Bank as well. The KRE, this is the ETF for the regional banks. So this is what happened the first time. That was a scare. We know that someone's going to come in, save some of these banks. And Silicon Valley Bank at that time was, I think, the 16th largest bank. And then that happened. Basically sounding alarms for many of the regionals. You had good opportunities to buy higher quality names at that point. Like a BAC or the regional bank, Wells Fargo, as well. So right now, we're always looking for, Sharif had a good entry, I believe, on the XLF. This could be another entry here back to the 50 period because one bank's not going to bring everything down. So that's a nice little move. And I think if there are further ramifications from this, then you'll get an opportunity to average in somewhere in here. The good thing about trading ETFs is you're not single stock name worry. So it's not like you're catching NYCB and hoping for a double up. You're just catching an ETF hoping to get a 5% discount and then start your DCA process or whatever the trade's going to be back up to highs here when everything's sorted out. So anyways, to me, that's the most interesting one there, New York Community Bank.
Yeah, I like that. I like the story on NYCB yesterday, but I chose to kind of get involved with KRE for that reason. It's
traded yesterday.
A little bit, yeah. It was again kind of it was kind of a testing kind of work on the playbook there, but it worked out pretty decently. I would say got to put some work into it. But the choice for KRE was,
what was the P&L, green or red?
Green, but. It could have been much better. Let's just say that. But the process was that NYCB's in play. I kind of missed the move on that, but KRE is a much better vehicle for liquidity and lack of halt risk, right? You saw that NYCB was halting around, and KRE doesn't give you that halt risk, and you can play that sector move in a much safer way, I think.
All right, back over to the desk. Thank you, Obi, for that, and maybe we'll trade some KRE today. What's up, boys?
Get into everything else we need to know here as we head towards the open. Sharif's going to kick it off as normal with a look at the futures.
49.70, guys. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES. That takes us back to the baseline here, the consolidation bottom between the 21st and 22nd of December. That 49.75. Look for that area as 48.75. Look at that area as support. And to the high side, let's look at that 4,900. We broke through that yesterday.
Minim taking out $6 that Luis was just talking about as we speak here. So MINM still moving to the upside. If you haven't done so, grab that. Absolutely free every day. Use the QR code. Go to watchlist.tradertv.live. All you need is an email address, and you can have that for absolutely nothing. Tesla top of the list this morning. A couple of different angles here to take on this. We had, that's not right. Yeah, I'll have to do that in a sec, guys. We had that note from Elon yesterday saying that 86% of people on X said he should reincorporate Tesla in Texas instead of Delaware, after that Delaware court yesterday said he can't have his 56 billion, so he's taking his ball and going to Texas, I guess, with it. This was Kathy Wood after the close yesterday. I thought this was kind of interesting. She thinks, anyways, 95 to 100% of all vehicles by 2030 are going to be EVs. So
ambitious.
Very.
All right, let's talk about this moving to Texas thing from Delaware. So essentially what the court there in Delaware did, it's a chancery equitable court. It's not the same thing as a common law court. So the way they use the law and the way they apply different principles, a little bit different. That's why they were able to void the contract. So he wants, like Brendo said, to take his ball and move to Texas. The other headline here for Tesla is the China revamp of the Model Y. They are adding hardware 4.0 that adds a series of sensors and cameras, which is kind of the precursor to the full self-drive being released in China. It's not currently available right now on the Tesla models there. Look for that.
Downside right now, trying to test session lows, but still positive here, guys, for Tesla.
So I don't know. I have something. I'm just starting it. It's the sticky note, and it's something here to give to traders. I wrote down Tesla here. Oh, I smudge there. 184. Now, I don't know. We talked about where we like demand, full self-drive. I like that upgrade coming through today. I feel like full self-drive and AI is really why you want to buy Tesla. I mean, the EV space is not very hot, obviously, right now. They didn't have a very hot quarter either, but they are starting to find a bottom here. And you were talking about finding bases. Tesla looks like it's doing it here on the daily. And then I just sort of zoomed out. So how did we get the 184? I don't think it's, again, rocket science here. This 184, that was the bottom yesterday, was 185 and change. I wasn't sure what the market was going to do. Now that I look at this, I think maybe 186 is where you could probably start the long. I just want to be long the name. Market only up 0.47. We crushed Tesla yesterday. I don't remember what the trade was. I think it was this long. Oh yeah. This was lucky. This was lucky. We had 189 long yesterday.
Wow.
Honestly.
On that move?
Yeah. So we were buying it right here at 190.50. No. We were buying at, yeah, that's what we were doing. So yesterday, I actually have again, I could find it on Twitter here if this is the thing. People yesterday were like, hey, how can we follow the trades? And then I was like, it's pretty simple. I don't know if you heard that in the background. But here it is right here. So this is the trade that we had yesterday, right? No, this is live trading. So there's VWAP at 190. We'll take it. I'll show it to you live. There's the 189. Sit there at the bottom, and I'll show you why. Then boom, boom. We got out at 192.50, and I think it was probably the next, I don't know where it is anyways, the next feed there. There it is right there, 192.50. As we let it go all the way up to 194, then get out based on that little base right there again. So Tesla's going to be a name that's going to give you many opportunities. You just have to be accurate with what you're waiting for. So yesterday, right, there's 190. So that's why we went long on VWAP. This is why we went long 189. Look, it's, again, we were going long against 188.50, which is that bottom. So we said 50 cents worth of risk to make what turned out to be $5, but we didn't know that. We only got $3.50 right there. Then we got out. Look where we got out, Obi. 192.50. Then look what happens. And then this is where we land again, 186, right? So I must have made a mistake. I believe that the level I should have put down was 186. So I'm going to have to adjust that. So anyways, it should be 186, not 184 on the sticky note. This is where I like the long. And then I wrote down you want to get out if we break 184. So that has to go back all the way back, I'm assuming. Why would I write that down if that wasn't a level here for earnings? So back into 184, yeah, so right there. So that's the problem area, 182. So if you break through 184, I think you test 182, and then if you break through 182, then there's a big problem. But where's the negative catalyst for Tesla? I don't see it today, so that's why we're going to start the bidding in and around 186. Watch out for 184 for a max position, and then if we break that, then it's going to be a red day for me on Tesla. But hey, yesterday, we got carried away and started shorting AMD way too early. Hey, Kat, what's up? Okay, but then it went up to our level at 170, and we just stood there, right? Put more in our portfolio, and it turned out to be the #1 name. So I feel like as long as we stick to our guns on Tesla, start the bidding at 186, and we'll see where we go from there.
Yeah, no, I like those
It's
levels.
real, Randy.
Hey, what's up? We saw you a little earlier, Randy.
You did?
Yeah, you made a guest appearance a couple times.
What was that?
I don't know. Well, it's
His memory's a little hazy.
Do you know the thing that we have for the show, the new animation for you? No, he doesn't. Ooh, watch. Go to. See, now he's yeah. Where is he? Where is this guy?
Nice.
Yeah. So yesterday he played that, and I thought it was you. I was just like, okay, Randy's here.
I like what you're doing here. I like
We're
the
talking
idea.
about, how come you're showing up like as soon as we're talking about Tesla here? Tesla new upgrade on full self-drive today. I like, Mike. Okay, just because people complain they can't hear you and they want more Randy, not less Randy. Yes. Full self-drive upgrade. You were talking about Volkswagen.
Yes.
Let me call it Volkswagen, and then what do you want to say about it?
They've had a good run. The ID series are selling well. There's more to come. So
Okay.
Again, they don't quite have the self-driving tech that Tesla does.
Okay, once this daily
But
travel
sales are up, production's up. Things are looking.
There we go.
Things are looking well.
What a difference in chart. I mean, Volkswagen just touches the bottom there at 108, and now you're back up to 120 in the 200 period moving average, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to our friendly Tesla that we just talked about, that is nowhere near their 200 period moving average, which is going to be somewhere up here. So one is going one way, one is, there it is, 230, completely going the other way. So Volkswagen is, in your opinion, a little bit of a better play at this point than Tesla.
Their larger market is Europe. We don't have as much saturation, I think, in terms of buyer potential in Europe as we do in maybe North America or elsewhere. So there's an upside there. Something to watch, something to keep an eye on.
I still wanted that Golf R, but maybe maybe we got to wait for. Are they? They're never doing that electric. There's no talk. Is there talk?
I wouldn't say never.
Okay.
I wouldn't say never.
Okay. The Golf E, I guess maybe.
There has been an e-golf in
Right,
the
but
past.
they
Gen
ditched
1.
that in 2020.
Yeah, it was kind of an
I think it was.
experiment.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't say never.
Please ask Randy to talk about China EV. No, or maybe we'll do that later. Okay, we'll talk about that later. Maybe in the afternoon show, we'll talk a little bit about that because Li Auto had a good number today. So, all right, back over to the desk. Thank you, Randy, for the coffees, and you have one now too. But I guess he thought Neil was here.
That's fine.
So
I'll take a coffee.
yeah, that's a black one right there. So, all right, back over to the desk, and let's start this rundown all over again with Amazon, Apple, and Meta. I believe they report.
We were just talking about the Vision Pro. Apple just coming out saying there's going to be more than 600 Vision Pro specific apps or apps optimized for Vision Pro to be released on Friday, February 2nd, with the actual units being available in the store. We were just saying, apparently it comes preloaded with like 8. Like there's not a lot on it at this point, but obviously more to come. More to come from Apple, Amazon, and Meta after the close tonight. We get earnings from this trio. So we mentioned to start the week that Tuesday and Thursday are going to be the biggest earnings days.
Oh, yeah.
Here we are.
So Apple, I'm looking for obviously any news with respect to iPhone sales because that's kind of been in focus lately, especially with that leak that came out from the Chinese analysts with respect to how much they're ordering from Foxconn. So that's what I'm looking for Apple. With respect to Amazon, I want to see how well they continue to grow AWS. It's one of the biggest players in the game, and how much they incorporate AI with cloud. And with respect to Meta, I want to see how they're going to do on digital ad sales. Google missed on their digital ad sales number. Does that translate over? Does that move over to Meta, or are they a different business model?
February 2nd again for in-store purchases for the Vision Pro. One of the coolest things I saw yesterday on some of these reviews was if you take a panoramic photo and then load it up in your Vision Pro, it feels like you're immersed in the photo. Like it goes all the way around. Like it's really, really cool. So cool. Still not worth $3,500 though.
Wrong. It is going to be worth $3,500, but not to the average consumer. Not to the average consumer. This model, Brendan's 100% right. No one, not me, not you, maybe Sharif. We're not going to go out and buy this Vision Pro at that price. But the point is, let's test the demand, get into developers, and then start bringing out. It's like, who's hitting the fail there? Fabian? Why? All right, but okay. So anyways, what I was getting at was that I think this is going to honestly revolutionize
Yes.
the next level of entertainment. Honestly, for absolutely everybody. Just for what Brendan just said right there. Wait until videos come out. Wait until other apps are developed and built on this platform, and then you're able to see the capabilities. You know, it's like when I bought my first iPhone. The guy told me as I was walking out the Rogers store there, honestly, at Bay and Jarvis, Bloor and Jarvis, the Rogers, one of the headquarters there. I had to go there to pick up the iPhone. It was the very first one. And I remember it was like $800 or something, which was ridiculous. Whatever the price was, it was well up. And everyone was, the guy told me, he goes, be careful walking, this is Toronto, a big guy.
Yeah.
Be careful walking down the street with those iPhones, you know, because—
How many did you get?
2.
Okay.
Me and my wife. I'd rather buy for her than me anyways, but this was, you know, she always gets the newer version. But anyways, we jumped on this one because we were upgrading our thing.
Right.
It was because we had the Rogers bag. So I wasn't like flashing the iPhones around. But the idea is that there becomes FOMO for all of this kind of stuff. People will scrounge up to $3K to get this. Whether or not they should or not, that's probably their problem. But the next iterations of this will be much cheaper, right? They're just trying to figure this out. I feel like they'll be able to find out what parts of the Vision Pro people are using, what aren't they. Maybe they can get a little bit more affordable on that end. We don't know what the margins are on this thing.
Right.
So, you know, if they're making 60% margins, they can bring that down to 30%, like whatever. This is what Apple does. You know, the Oculus is $600 or $700, the newest version. All right, let's talk about the stock. I think Apple's in trouble for a minute here. This is the 50-period moving average, okay? We broke it all the way up here at 195. Look how good this was all the way up. Look how good it is all the way down. So if I'm going to predict a long, it's not going to be until we break this moving average. So I love Apple. I think they're going to be in trouble this quarter. I don't love the consumer right now. We've talked about that. Walmart got the split news yesterday and went down. So yeah, I'm looking at either a 185 break down here today, which I think could happen. I think that's dangerous to push the short when we don't know what the NASDAQ wants to do. But there's no way I'm going long until we break through 187. So 187 is a short, and I just added it to the sticky note. So you guys are seeing it live right here. If you're on the road or whatever, check out this sticky note. Here it is. I just added it 3 minutes ago. The exact same stuff I'm saying. We're adding Apple to the sticky note. I like the 187 to short. There's the 50-period moving average. So that's the trade that I'm talking about. Take it. I don't know if we get back up to that level, but those are the shorts for me. And look what the high was in Powell Madness, 187. Exactly where the 50-period moving average is. So there you go. That's a technical read on Apple. I don't love the name heading into earnings, and I think you got to be careful with it. If Microsoft goes down on that report, Google goes down on that report, and AMD went down, there's a little bit of negativity surrounding Apple right now.
Yeah, definitely. I think with earnings coming out today, it'll definitely be an interesting watch. I don't really necessarily have any plans on it, but this is a weekly chart that we're seeing here. We attempted that 200 push, but a little bit of a sideways action there, attempting to get into that 200 if we're even going to make it there. But yeah, strong red week that we're in right now, Sean. So with only about 2 days left with the week to go, I'm curious to know whether we kind of visit down here or we kind of rip right back up. Who knows? I don't. It'll be earnings dependent and how we kind of come off of earnings going forward in the next few days.
All right, let's talk Qualcomm. Initial move was to the upside on the report last night, but that did not last very long. Gets all the way back to 145. Trying to hold on to that right now, but I mean the low, I guess, was 144 and change or below that. 2.3% here. It was about China, essentially, and demand coming from China, concerns about lack thereof, essentially. Everything else was either in line or actually not that bad.
Yeah, they beat on the top and bottom line, Brendo. Net income rose 24% year over year. Revenue beat expectations, $9.92 billion in revenue. It was really the guide here, guys, that really held things back. They're guiding 8.9 to 9.7 billion of revenue in the next quarter. The street was looking for the higher side of that, 9.5 billion. The other headline, obviously, is they've extended their deal with Apple to continue to make their chips for their phone. And the other industry that they're trying to break into is the automotive industry here. It's nascent for them. They're actually trying to make chips for cars. very little in terms of revenue out of that right now, 589 million, but it is up 31% year over year.
I was just noticing the lack of movement during the Fed announcement yesterday on Qualcomm. Some of these tech names just did absolutely nothing, stayed positive and then some, even as the market came off so hard into the close there, guys. But yeah, downside here for Qualcomm today.
Well, I always say the same stuff. And this is a name that I never trade, and it's an earnings name, and it's not really moving. I mean, it's down 2%. You know, I feel like it's just going to be a short, but if I'm going to play a chip name, I'm definitely going to be playing AMD, NVIDIA, Intel, Micron, all the names that I prefer. But let's just talk about this, because if it's in your portfolio, they got good news there that they extended the license for Apple until 2027. So I think that's good. There was some nervous hands there about Qualcomm and Apple relationship, but as long as that keeps extending, I feel like there's a guaranteed revenue side there. They also got a new deal with Samsung, so I like that. Not too much details announced about it. But at the same time, they're still in the space. I really like the chip names, but it's pulling back again. Like that 155 was pretty juicy there. The 50-period moving average is 140. So a couple more bucks down, and I think you buy this name. I mean, you know, it's Qualcomm. This is a name that's been around for a very, very long time. They have the deals, they have the contacts, and I think it continues to work. I'm not sure anybody could just come into this chip game if they keep on performing and can get into Samsung phones and hold that deal with Apple, then I think it's okay. Down a little bit here today. I would just fade into like basically what I always do. And I don't know enough about this name. Like I would much rather prefer losing my whole day on or making my whole day on Tesla or something that we trade. But if you just stick with the plan, it's a 200-period moving average, and that's at 147. So if the name is weak, you fill the gap back to 147, then that would be where I would start the short. So again, I want to play trends. I wrote down on the sticky note, believe it or not, we don't have too much time left, but like I'm crazy enough to sit here and say I want to short Microsoft today because the trend is down from earnings. I put on the sticky note that I want to short Google today. These names are both up against the market. This is not something that I normally do. But I'm nervous about the rest of earnings, so there's no way that I can go in here and say, yo, let's just go ahead and buy Qualcomm. If I'm shorting Microsoft and Google and Apple, I'm definitely shorting Qualcomm. So that's where I am with that. And Obi, go say something smart about it.
I don't know. I don't trade this name either, Sean. So, but I do have it on watch. Another tech name. One of the top or one of the few top tech names amongst others. And yeah, a little bit sideways. Breaking below 50 off of that earnings reaction and kind of coming into yesterday's levels. Earnings reaction low here, kind of a reference price 143.40. That could be an interesting look, and we're kind of selling off into the open here. So yeah, very curious to know what some of these tech names will be doing with Amazon and Apple earnings after hours. I'm not expecting too much from anything. I'm gonna stay as patient as possible. I got some plans on Google, but Google and Amazon, I guess, but nothing too crazy for the day.
Is it confirmed? I was just talking to Ramin. There was rumors I saw early on this morning that Hamilton's going to Ferrari in 2025.
Okay. I know how you feel about that.
I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I get it, but
yep.
We'll see. All right, let's talk NVIDIA here to keep the train going. The we mentioned this going back a couple weeks ago, the new China-specific chip that, again, gets around the U.S. Restrictions. Pre-orders on now for this thing. So good day so far, 1% here for NVIDIA.
Yes, sir. 3 chips to talk about here, the H20, the L20, and the L2. These are all China-specific chips that are going to be basically getting around the embargo placed by the Biden administration. They're running for about $12,000 to $15,000 a pop, a little cheaper than the H100 and the A100, which are the flagship chips. But they are competing with a Huawei new designed GPU that's supposed to actually outperform some of these chips in certain areas. So we'll have to see how much they can sell of these in China.
How fitting would it be? I mean, great job. How fitting would it be if Lewis Hamilton wins his 8th, record-breaking 8th world title in a Ferrari?
Race is actually running right now. Race had earnings today, right?
Yeah, you're mentioning.
So yeah, it's what a performance by Ferrari right now in the pre-market here, really kind of running up. I did have it kind of on watch here. Again, not a name I'm really too familiar with, but I will be kind of watching it. These are all-time highs on the Rari here today. So you take a look at the weekly here. You can see looking left. It's pretty much a blue sky kind of a breakout, as some people like to call it, right there. And yeah, this is breaking out of all-time highs that were 373. So yeah, definitely an interesting look there. Performante.
They got Ferrari got Lewis Hamilton today. Is that what these guys mentioned? Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, so I was stepping away there for a second. Interesting tweet that Adara just showed me here, right on topic, actually, and I just posted it up here, so thanks, Adara, for this one. This is here, let me get the actual note here. AMD valuation is almost 50% richer than that of NVIDIA. Okay, so forward earnings, I mean, we can all read this. We've talked about this. There's a lot of, and by the way, like Qualcomm just dumps right now into 144. The imbalances are out. We got to get over that. But this, just look at this. Go over to my Twitter here. This is from bar chart, but you know you'll be able to see this is PEs. So AMD, NVIDIA down here near 20. I don't know what this exact number is, 29, and then AMD 42.5. So yeah, man, that is what it is, and that is valuation. So if you're going to short a name, then to me that would mean that you would short AMD, right? You're back up here to 170. This is where we were hitting it yesterday before we ripped up to 171 and change. I'm a little more nervous about shorting AMD today. I have those better plans with Microsoft and Google, but yeah, I think it's a short until you break above this 172. The thing is, I joke about it, but damn, this stupid wick down there. When the machines get turned on, I feel like it's best to wait for them to get turned off. And then wait for a top and then play it and then get out when they get turned back on again. My best trades I had crazy trades yesterday on AMD. It was the #1 name. You know, we shorted it. We got short into here, but then man, did we really hit this back. And that was fantastic. And I believe we even put something on near the end of the day as well. But I really like AMD. I feel like you could buy it down here at 163, but it needs to get there first. Maybe 164 could be the bottom. I prefer the much better play to go short, but I am short biased despite the market being up 0.46. We're now under VWAP. We're under the 50-period moving average. We've talked about some shorts into here. So I know this says NVIDIA on the board, but NVIDIA is so strong, and I don't want to short NVIDIA. So my mind is on short right now. I don't think this is a short. So I'll probably stay away from NVIDIA. I mean, Obi, if we can get into 614, 615, into this area, then we talk long. But I'll be cheering on, hopefully, shorts that I have on other names. So if NVIDIA dips into there, let's keep our eyes open and have a potential trade into that 615 area. Qualcomm, by the way, guys, is 142 and getting cranked as we speak.
Yeah, that NVIDIA is super strong off of that breakout. We kind of talked about it a few weeks back. It was kind of consolidating, a bit of a multi-month consolidation between that 400 and that 500, and you're breaking out on a longer time frame, and it does about 120, 130 points off of that 500 breakout there over the course of, I guess, a couple months, January and February starting right now. But yeah, very strong trend on NVIDIA. So I would definitely heed your advice with the you know, holding back on the shorting there.
All right, we'll wrap up with Chinese EV delivery numbers. Sharif and I were talking about this before we came on this morning. I mean, impressive to say the least, I think, right across the board. But once again, it's this one, your favorite, LI, just dominating as far as month-over-month numbers go.
Yeah, Brendo, look, I mean, I don't mean to disparage the other two, XPEV and NEO, but Li Auto takes the cake here. I'm out of this one just so everybody is clear about the conflict there. With respect to deliveries, they delivered 31,165 vehicles this past January. That's a 106% increase year over year. Their guide for full year 2024 is 800,000 vehicles, and they're introducing 4 new models in their March presentation. So I'm going to be watching out for Li Auto.
Back to session highs as we speak here, guys, for Lee.
Auto, Neo, XPEV, all that. Go have some fun with that. Look at Qualcomm down to 140 right now. All right, Adair, 30 seconds left. Qualcomm just puked down into that level that we talked about for 140. Like, again, let's just get short next time before I'm like, this is a short. But again, it's probably the imbalances. We only have 20 seconds now until we go. I'm going to be looking at Tesla to buy some of these dips, and then we will go from there with only 10 seconds. We'll possibly have Randy on a little bit later. We talked about that with the Chinese delivery. So thanks for that update there, Sharif. And Sharif obviously on the midday with Li Auto, fantastic as well. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go, Obi. It's Obi. He's in the building. We're excited for that one, and we're excited to get some trading going here as well as the market starting to head to the downside. I agreed with Randy. I believe you did as well when we're turning these into bears. But we're going to play the market reaction as we see it and try to trade off some of these names, and I hope you enjoy that coffee, my guy. All right, Tesla, Microsoft, Google, SoFi. One name that we didn't get to was SoFi. As this market comes back in, we're waiting for SoFi down at 760, and I forgot to put a bid. So that just went down to 790. Maybe we'll start the bidding at 780, but I'm looking for SoFi somewhere around here at 760 to start the bidding if this name gets downside.
Yeah, I'm just like I said before, my move as of late has been pretty much exercising a little bit of patience on some of the moves I'm looking for here. I am watching RCL. They had earnings today. I'm watching Google as well, and of course Amazon and Apple as well. Also, okay, so this is not Amazon here. Okay, yeah, so yeah, watching both of those as well. So Google kind of pushes into that 143, coming right back down. A lot of chop, a lot of volatility. Yeah, sure, you could have taken that pre-market high scalp through and gave you about a point right away, but that's not what I'm looking for here. I got my plan. I've read over my plan a couple of times, and I'm going to do my best to try and take that and that only, and other kind of playbook trades that may or may not show up sporadically, but Softy kind of pushing up towards their high. So we're starting off a little bit divided here, Sean. Apple to the downside, where Softy and Google showing some strength. NVIDIA to the downside as well, but you can see the ES showing some strength there as well. 17.3 on the NQ.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm trying to get short here, but again, I'm trying to not do what I did yesterday. Oh, that's Google, sorry. And that is get too short against our plan. Unfortunately, these wicks, they're so frustrating, I'll have to edit them out. But right now we're short 142.60. Oh, where's my Microsoft? Microsoft's getting up there as well. So we want to watch out. It is a nice move higher here. We're still averaging in. We're waiting for a little bit more than this. I do have an offer in the 80s as well for Google. It's Microsoft that was starting to head up to the 405 area that we wanted to sort of start the offering. 404.50 is where I'm offering right now. And you know what that went to? 404.23. So we just, oh man, that could have been a big one. Let's put an offer there now in that. Look at Google, by the way. There it is right now. We're already starting the party there again. Congratulations one more time if you got this trade. It's Google. It's 50 cents in the money, and we just took it. So, I mean, if you're having fun, so am I. Look at that. Double the short, double your pleasure, double your fun. It's double mint gum. And if anybody works for Wrigley's, you know, there we go, making sales much easier around here. All right, so there it is, back into 142. Nice short from 142.75. We just took 70, or I guess, what are we short, 64s? We just took basically 60 cents on that trade, but we're not out of it all. And here we go again, like Luigi, here we go, or Mario. We're gonna watch out right now because here comes Microsoft. We get that 50 fill, we get that 25 fill, and we're waiting for 405. I hate shorting this name, but I said we would play with the trend. That top yesterday, maybe we get a little nervous at 406. Again, try not to stand in the way of what could be an absolute monster in Microsoft. I mean, again, we talked about turning machines on. This would be the one name that I keep saying we want to buy on dips. But I'm trying to play off of some levels from yesterday. So there it is right here. It's the 200 period. It's 405. It looked pretty good. I feel like if we break 405, we'll get out if we take 406. So 405 is kind of where we wanted to start it. So now we're in it. We're short at 404.60. I feel comfortable with that. We're going to wait for a 406 break on Microsoft.
Yeah, so I guess my plan was to kind of interact with some of these pre-market highs. into this 143, 144 if we can get there. And if we don't, that's perfectly fine as well. I do plan on staying a little bit nimble there. Yeah, okay, so we break right back below that 142, so I will be out of there and kind of give it some more time. But RCL really going there. RCL almost nearing into its all-time highs in and around that 135 area here, about to push this pre-market level as we speak. Softy super strong as of right now. So we definitely got that on watch as well. Google still kind of holding that 142, so it might have been a little premature for that move there. 133 coming in on
Had $1 on
the
that move.
RCL. Take a look at this one. This one's kind of building up into that pre-market high as the NQ kind of pulls up. ES pulls up as well. A little bit of strength. So yeah, RCL broke through that 133. So we are kind of pushing up a little bit higher as of right now. 133 break. Oh wow! I look over, I look back. We're already at 134, Sean.
On
that
RCL?
Yeah, that is absolutely wild.
Long?
And
Yes,
never mind, we came right back down again.
sir.
So we're getting pretty volatile with almost over a 50 penny spread here on RCL here, just above this 133s and holding, but that pop into 134, that was absolutely wild there. Not really printing on the ask. Mainly, you just got bids and mids printing. No real kind of printing of the ask, and we kind of slam right back down through that 133, so this one might need some more time there. 142 still holding on the Google, so I'll still be watching that. That was a little bit of a consolidation, end of day consolidation area from yesterday, so definitely some potential there when it's confluent with the pre-market highs.
We got to slap a fail on the short there for Mike. Don't tell me that was the top. The short there for Microsoft. We'll see, but we just got out at 406. We'll try one more time against 406.25, but it looks like that's busted. We almost had $1 in Google, but the market's starting to head back up, but we're still under VWAP. So let's see. Again, we lost on it. I fully understand that. Not a good trade. We're back into it. Microsoft just got busted out there. Google's working, but Adara's at the desk.
Yeah, SunPower getting a nice jump right off the open here, now up about 24%. SPWR announcing some additional waiver extensions and financial commitments here for SPWR, guys.
All right, SPWR, good little name there. We're going to have to look somewhere else. Microsoft is going to be just too strong right now, so we'll hold out for that and then wait. I don't even have any bids. Well, I have a bid to take a little bit of profit. We're now 30 cents in the money, but we're going to wait. You know, what name is really going to the downside right now and could continue? We're looking to break 167 right now on AMD. The problem is I'm already these names short. So I'm a little nervous about that. I'm going to put an offer near 167.80 if we do get a little bit of a bump back to the upside there. I feel like that would be a much better short, as if Microsoft's going down now. I want a short. Remember, we say this when it gaps. You want to play the VWAP, so back up there, 168.57 for a possible move back for AMD. But I do like the short. We're starting to break again on advanced micro devices. I mean, this was a good level there yesterday afternoon. That's why I'm looking at it, 167 right there. If we break, we can get into that 164 area. So play some weakness in this name. Unfortunately, that Microsoft is working now, but didn't work earlier. So right now, short possibly here on AMD, but it is bouncing around a key level. I'd like the futures to confirm this, but right now, shout out, probably Dan Emmons is probably in the chat right now and saying something about these stupid futures being in a range, but he's not wrong. This needs to make a move here. Maybe we're getting a little bit hesitant ahead of Microsoft earnings, ahead of Apple earnings as we're in Microsoft. Google right now, nicely in the money, that's 60 cents, and we just took a piece out finally on Microsoft, but Microsoft was not the short that we thought it was going to be. There it is. So good thing we just took a piece out right there, as this market is pretty jumpy right now. Looking for some more trade ideas. Maybe it's going to be over to Tesla soon.
Yeah, definitely very jumpy there. I got slapped around on that RCL, kind of looked away for a second, and came right back into 130, actually below 130. So I did kind of step away from that one there. Didn't quite manage the risk too well on that one, moving a little bit too fast. But that's perfectly fine. We'll be patient and wait for the next trade here. 142 still catching a little bit of trouble here on the Google here, and like I said, I'm going to stay a little bit patient. Strongest of the name though, Sean.
Microsoft already.
Softy is the strongest one, it would seem, 405s, 406 is pushing as of right now. NVIDIA kind of looking very different there with the flush down into below 620, 617 coming in, and there goes the 142 on Google. But we still haven't really reached this pre-market low consolidation low here, 141 halves or just above that 141. So I will stay a little bit more patient and let that first 15-minute session kind of work in and look for maybe some continuation.
I wish I had done that, but we just went over to AMD and absolutely pumped that one. And we just took it again. We just took $1 there on the Google short. Damn you, Microsoft. Damn you. 2 for 3 to start the day. What's up, A?
A lot of these uranium companies running right now, including URG, this is your energy, making new 52-week highs. Basically, Kazatomprom, which is one of the top uranium producers, warning of a potential hit to future production of uranium. Nice hit for all these other, nice move up, sorry, for all these other uranium names here, guys.
Okay, thank you so much for that one. I was just telling Obi about how easy this 167 break is, and yet I can't, I layer it. Like, look at this. Now we're $1. We just put this, we're now $1 in the money on all. Yeah, Google's there, AMD just bouncing right there, but that, like, look at that flush, man. That got to 165.75 right there. We got a bunch of outs there at 166, so we're only into about 20% still of this position, but this was a good one, man. We needed this for sure after that disastrous Microsoft trade back up to the upside there. But all right, so we took 50 or 60 cents there on Microsoft. We'll still wait for a flush. 406.50, and we are out of this name, trying to give it a little bit of room to breathe there if we can on Microsoft, because damn it, I hate losing on names that I really, really like, and that sucks because normally we're long on Microsoft. We actually haven't traded Microsoft very well over the last couple of days, to be honest with you. We've really hit well on Intel, so we'll go back there. We've really hit well, of course, those of you watching on Tesla as well, so we'll wait for that. Looks like we want to break 43 here. That's pretty cool, too, because it's a 50-period go down. It's a 50-period moving average right there on Intel, but I'm still short AMD and looking to possibly get more of that as AMD just went right back upside again into 167. I'm going to try to play VWAP. Let's short it into VWAP. If we break, then we get out. But this name's acting a little bit strange as well right now as we just bottomed out there at one. See what I mean when they turn these machines on? 165, like the market's not doing anything. 165.70 all the way up and giving me another short up here. So I don't know, man. We have to definitely watch this AMD. This has been a pretty interesting day so far, in my opinion. As there it is, we just take another 50 cents there on the short of AMD. So let's go, man. That's a face slapper right there. As now we're cooking, baby. Microsoft back down to the downside. We got to take some more profit on this one. And AMD's trying to cook as well. Let Russ cook, everybody in Denver. Let Russ cook.
Yeah, people talking about Boeing short, and yeah, I'm taking a look at this. I just pulled it up here. Wow, that thing is just screaming to the downside as of right now, breaking through. Yeah, Boeing, BA right there. Take a look at that. I was trying to get in the short yesterday, kind of looking for that reversion of a very strong bid that it held pretty much all day. Earnings day one, right? And then earnings day two, we're coming right back into some of those levels right off the open from yesterday. Take a look at that opening kind of consolidation range here in the first morning session. We come right into that level as of right now. 208s, and then you bounce right up into 210s. So that's definitely interesting. Miss on my part there. I was looking for the short yesterday. I did manage to catch a little bit on this flush off the FOMC shake and bake that we had going into the end of the day there. And Boeing continues to be a little bit of the gift that keeps on giving underneath this 215 level here for the short side, of course. But yeah, no, I'm glad you guys are trading Boeing and catching some profits off of this potential move here. I'm still kind of waiting here. I'm watching Amazon. I'm watching
208 there on Boeing, if you can.
208 long on Boeing. Yeah. I just pointed that out. That was kind of a morning consolidation from yesterday. It's already bouncing from there, Sean.
It's a good level.
2 points.
You nailed that level for sure. Okay, so just looking back, Microsoft, we're taking a little bit more profit. We just took some there at 50. Like I said, man, we did not hit it right in the beginning, but we're making some money back on it. We've made back about 20% of what we lost, and we're still holding on. So if this can come back down, that would be good. Right now, Rumble did have a nice day yesterday, was it? But now off a little, yeah, so it's having a couple nice days there. Rumble just pulling back down. I know there's some traders looking at that. I got to go back over to Microsoft because right now we're breaking 405. So this was the level that we liked, was 405 on Microsoft. Like I said, we started the bidding a little bit too early. We had to get stopped out at 406. Losing $1 sucks, but unfortunately that is what we did. And we just got some more out down there. We're still holding 60% as I think this one can go. All right, little small average in here on AMD. We're waiting more up near 168. If it breaks 168, we're out. We talked about VWAP right there. That's going to be the pain trade for me. Up through 168 will be enough of that. And then we will not play the Microsoft game where we just get back in. We're going to wait. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm not going to pretend like we know what AMD is going to do. I mean, look at NVIDIA, right? We talked about how strong that name is. This name's right back through VWAP and right back into the 50-period moving average. So let's just be careful a little bit with some of these trades. I'm going to take another piece out on Microsoft as it's, for some reason, seeming pretty strong here as well. So another piece out on Microsoft. That's all good. Let's wait for this 450 or so area. Let's see if we can crack a little bit lower here on Microsoft. We just got a number, so let's go to Adara.
In this S&P Global Manufacturing PMI final here, higher than expected. We got 50.7 print versus the forecast of 47.2. Just a note here on the S&P Global Manufacturing PMI.
Okay, we are getting close to getting a little bit more short here on AMD. So I'll let you talk there, Obi, but this is what I'm working with: AMD, Google, Microsoft short.
Yeah, no worries. I kind of. What's your reasoning for the Google short? I kind of wanted to ask you.
I was against that 144 yesterday, but
okay.
It was a sticky note name. It's $1 in the money, but the reason for it was just we had that huge move up, and then I know I wrote down 144, but like the same mistake that I made with Microsoft getting in a little bit too early, so I did take it early, and this one's actually paying off. So.
Okay, because I was like I kind of came in looking for potential long on Google. That was kind of the plan from last night, and I'm just using some of these pre-market levels as like executions right now. But yeah, no, that's definitely that 144 from
we
yesterday.
Right down to that
heavy.
200 period, which would have been another great out down there. So I'm going to put another bid at 140, 150.
Yeah, I think that off of that 144, I think that's definitely something to watch there. Amazon to the moon there, or maybe not to the moon. It's up about a point and a half off of the open. 158 halves. I'm patiently waiting, kind of watching for that 159 level to come in. You can see, looking left on the chart over the past couple of days, a little bit of a heaviness in that 159 level. So I'm curious to know what we do with that price as it potentially comes in here. I'm going to pull up the book here as I'm still on RCL on that one. But yeah, take a look at that 158 coming in. Let me throw up some of those size filters real quick right here, so we can know if there are if there's any size on the book, if it does show up right there. So let me just set that.
Let's go to Adara quickly, and then we'll come back. Obi doesn't have his earpiece, so.
Quick note in Apple here from a couple minutes ago, being reported by Reuters that India's Tata is in advanced talks with Pegatron for an iPhone assembly partnership at a plant in Tamil Nadu state. So just a note here on AAPL, guys, especially interesting going into earnings tonight.
Always stories, huh? All right. By the way, AMD just took out that top, so that will be a loss there as it breaks through 168. So that sucks. That's fine. It doesn't. It's fine because we were able to take profit. It's not the hit that it could have been for sure if we didn't. Google right now just came back in. We were bidding 140, 160. We just said it bounced off 140, 167 again. So we'll wait for that. Hopefully that comes back in. That sucks that we just miss it. All right. Again, we were bidding 405.25. It went down to 405.35. We've now switched it. I wouldn't mind getting, there we go. We got a little bit more short against 406.25. But like maybe this Apple, let's go over and check that out right now. Okay, so not much is happening there. I thought shorting second day plays was going to be right. So that's why we shorted Microsoft. That's why we're shorting Google. Obi had a good question there. So we're still going to stick with that story. But Google definitely seems to have been right. We're $1 in the money here, but we keep losing on Microsoft. So We just took it again. We're waiting for that 406.50. Look at the market coming in a little bit here. Maybe we finally get a push down on Softy, but this name is really, really strong, and so is AMD, by the way. I have to go back over and look at that. Qualcomm bounce. Remember, what was that level that we talked about?
142.
140, yeah, good one right there. 140 is exactly where we bounced off of. That was the 50-period moving average on the daily. But again, a pretty good call, but doesn't matter if you don't have it. Microsoft's pulling back a little bit. Let's take a bid out here because we have to. If we don't take bids out when Microsoft falls, then when it just burns us back up to the upside, we ask ourselves, why didn't we take profit? So we've already had numerous wins on this and able to take it, and we didn't. So we're starting to put some bids, starting to layer them there. We just take one at 63, and now we'll put another one down in the 40s, and then again in the 20s. And then if we get that break lower, then great. But I mean, look where the market's going and look what Softy's doing. So this is where we consider ourselves trading relative strength and weakness. And right now, Microsoft is definitely strong. So in a market turnaround, this name should really burn us if it continues to do this. So that's why we're getting lighter and lighter on Softy, and this hit will be fine because it'll be 50 cents. We did get a move up to 169. That's the 200-period moving average. We didn't have AMD written down on here, but we did short it. We're able to take profits. It's that last one at VWAP that basically didn't wind up working. We'll be red today on AMD for now.
Yeah, so I'm trying this Google a couple more times there. I'll give it a few tries there, holding these some of these pre-market levels.
Look at this market though.
But yeah, you're definitely right on that. Looking kind of weak on some of these names here. Softy's really the only one with some relative strength, as well as Amazon as well, kind of pushing right up into that 159, 158 area. I'm looking for. And yeah, I'm just going to patiently wait for that level to kind of come in there. 142 seems like it's a little bit of a chop as of right now on Google. Might have been too early, the first two tries there. Maybe third time's a charm, who knows? But I got my risk a little defined there. And let's see whether or not we get that Google bounce through some of those pre-market levels there, but as of right now, definitely looking kind of weak. Boeing continuing to the downside as it pushes into 207s here. That's definitely interesting. Missing out on some of that short I was looking for yesterday, coming in today. It is what it is, though. I'm glad that I know some people in the chat were saying that they're profiting on that BA move. So congratulations to those of you who are. But yeah, I don't have too many other plans here. I know there's an IPO coming out today, so I definitely want to save some risk for that name. I think it's AAS.NY. It's coming out on the NYSE exchange. Something definitely interesting, so I will be waiting for that one as well. Kind of just patiently waiting. I got my RCL. RCL didn't really work out. I got a little slapped with the RCL there, a little distracted with the spread, and yeah, it dumped like it. I managed to get out the most of my shares for like a two-point loss, and then whatever I had left over, I took a 3-point hit, which was pretty nasty there. But thankfully, we still are a little alive here, letting things kind of work out, being more patient now as the market kind of decides where to go.
Adair's got a story for us, and then we'll come back.
Clearmind making new highs on the day here. CMND announcing a long-term licensing agreement with Beerad. So nice move up here, 50% plus move for CMND.
Talk also about Minim there. Minim's halted a couple times here today. I know there's some traders looking at this name, Minim. And let's just check out what the short float is, MINM. We've looked at this name lots on the show before. For some reason, it's only 2.6%. I feel like that's not right, but maybe. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't right now. The short float, it's the float. That's the issue there, 900,000 shares. So as this name starts to get moved around, be careful. Obviously, with that low float, if they drop a share offering, it would be very, very disastrous. But that should happen intraday. Doesn't look like, you might get a halt on that or something if that does happen. But we don't want to talk about the downside too much there. But for right now, yeah. It's Minim. It's trying to go back up to the upside right there. A nice push back into 435. I mean, I don't think we get there now. Nice move up. There it goes. Huge bottom at $2. We'll have to find out maybe what the news was. Could you find out, Adair, just a couple days ago on Minim, if there was anything MINM down there breaking through $3? The reason is that we have a nice level there of 5. So let's just see what that is. A lot of wick tops, a very, very aggressive name to trade. And again, congratulations anybody that nailed that one, because here today, right off the pre-market, minimum was $4. Went up to $7.50. That's what we're talking about, baby. Good trade on that one. All right, here comes Microsoft. Let's go. Finally, guys. Finally, we're in that name, as we'll see if this market wants to go red. At least Microsoft. I don't think Microsoft's going to go red, but maybe we can finally pull back down. This is the move that we've been waiting for, and hopefully this will happen now. We still got a decent size on for this, so believe it or not, we can make this back, but we just got to get into 404, man. And if we test anywhere near VWAP, that's going to be where we get out next time. So far so good on this short. I feel like I'm definitely jinxing it. We've been bouncing off 405 a bunch of times, but we acknowledge that, and we just got out at 405.25. I'm going to put one more bid down here at 405, and then we'll let this thing hopefully fall down in. What up, Adara?
So just the story, the backstory with Minim here. So this one initially moved after market close on Tuesday with this investor, David E. Lazar, announcing that he has 51% active stake in the company, and also that he was elected to its board of directors. So that seems to be the main thing moving Minim up here this coming after market close on Tuesday, guys.
Ask and she shall deliver. Thank you, Adara, for that one. And someone asked about how do we know if they're dropping a share offering. Hey man, I wish I knew. I mean, wouldn't that be awesome if there was like an indicator, like, okay, in 5 minutes. No, I only said that because these companies need to raise capital. Right. And when a stock goes up a certain amount, unlike a Google, Apple, where they buy back stock because they have so much cash, apparently they have no idea what to do with it. And come on. Yeah. Issue a special dividend. Yeah. I'll take some of that. But a stock like Minim will say, oh my God, our stock's at $7. Let's see if we can get away with a share offering down to $4, something like that. And then all of a sudden, that's where they find buyers. And then obviously the common at that point retraces. So that's the risk about a share offering. Not that it's going to happen or anything like that. Those of you in the chat, I would feel very silly not to educate about that. So I just want to bring that to your attention. That could be the thing that brings it down. Great story there. It's going to the upside. I wouldn't necessarily worry about that, but that is what it is. That's what starts these things. All right, Microsoft, we just put a bid down there at 405.05, 405.04. All right, maybe we'll hit that. Again, I don't know why I picked those random prices. And then Intel. And again, when you're scalping, I don't mean to sound like I don't know why we picked those prices. I just want to get out ahead of 405. Like if Microsoft really, I know we talk about that, oh my God, it stopped at our price. I don't have a big share size sitting there. We're just trying to get out. So hopefully it will come down in and spike that fill for us, hopefully. Intel, just dancing around. I want to check back on it. I'm wondering about a 43 short, but it's not really dancing the way I thought it would. And of course, AMD is what we thought it was. But we got stuck. Like, why not just wait? Why not just wait? We waited for VWAP. We could have tried it again right there. Look at that. If you waited for VWAP and you didn't get all scared about it, cash money right there for AMD as it just falls back down. Obi, all we had to do was wait $1, and we would have been in the money $1. But the problem is, again, starting the trade too damn early, and we have to get out at that level. But guess what? We're learning every single day, and we are getting better.
Yeah, likewise. Every day is definitely a learning experience for me as well. NQ kind of coming right back in there, but Apple kind of wiped its flush there and picked up off of that 184, coming right back into some of those pre-market levels. Or Amazon kind of strong as well, 142 coming back in on the Google L, but the NQ is kind of breaking down below that 17. Let's go. That's definitely interesting there. A bit of a okay, so NVDA is pulling down as well, and SPY is kind of just chilling sideways there.
Got a super chat here looking at Apple.
Yeah,
so good job.
Eyes on Apple saying Ahmed there, and yeah, we definitely got some eyes on Apple there, recovering its flush move there. So there goes 142, kind of blasting through that 142. Let's see how far we can get with this one. 142 hold on the Google as the NQ kind of goes all the way down. That's interesting.
I hear some talk there about, yeah, Google right now, I mean, we already took it out, so we only have 20% left of Google. Get down, Microsoft. I was just going to talk about that because people in the chat are like, Microsoft is not moving, and you are 1,000% right about that. Google, we've already taken piece. We have 20% left on that. We'll wait to see if that's going. But here we go. Shout out to my favorite quarterback, Dak Prescott, as we are Green Bay Packer fans. So, all right, we just went down. You see where we stopped at? 12s. We were waiting at 04. So we'll adjust, see if we can get a little bit better on that one, and see, like, Microsoft's just going to be a scalp. I don't think we're going to get the winner that we thought we would get on this. Like, it just went down. Look at that, 405.16. You know, for it to bounce back up 50 cents. In your world, or in traders' worlds, that might not mean something, but like when you're scalping, just that little 50-cent move up like that hurts. So we need to get it out. Yeah, I won't say that, Eddie, but you might be right there. Microsoft may have you know, an issue with it today. So we'll wait for that. And then we'll go over to AMD quickly again. It's pulling back. I'm waiting for this level up higher, 169 if that comes through. And then because of the super chat, and I know you just mentioned it, we have construction spending coming up at 10 o'clock. We'll wait for that. The market's starting to bounce back up again. So I just don't know what we want to do here. We turned this we turned it into a bearish market. We've been 100% right, but the only thing that would have worked so far would have been literally just shorting the market. I mean, I don't feel like, I mean, Google's been good, but it's all the way back up. Microsoft's been a little bit of a disaster, and then AMD's just been AMD-like. So not much happening there for me right now. Maybe Boeing might be something to look at again.
Yeah, definitely. I'm feeling you on that, on your statement when you say that I was a little too early. I had to have a little bit more patience there, and definitely with the Google long here, getting chopped up a little too early, not giving it the right kind of risk there. Again, where's the right kind of risk to give that kind of trade? That's what I'm thinking about right now. And sure, the NQ is kind of dumping and falling on its face there, but when the tape is kind of showing me that Google wants to bid,
they're already out. Yeah, well, let's go over to Adara. We got to throw to Adara a lot faster. Let's go to Adara.
Yeah, we just got in some numbers here. ISM manufacturing PMI coming in at 49.1 versus the forecast of 47.6, so quite a bit higher here. Manufacturing employment, 47.1 versus 48.2, slightly lower. Construction spending year over year, 0.9% versus 0.4%, so a little bit higher. Manufacturing new orders 52.5 versus 47.4 expected, and manufacturing prices 52.9 versus 45.9 expected. So quite a bit higher on average here, I would say. Not too much of a reaction here on the SPY. Still slightly positive here today as we do await those big tech earnings coming up. Mainly just earnings on the horizon here, or just names to keep an eye on. Peloton down about 18% after EPS miss, but sales beat. And then Qualcomm here also down after its earnings as well here. Internet of Things actually for Qualcomm taking quite a hit. Lots to keep an eye on here, guys.
Yeah, super strong market.
I don't know if construction spending or ISM or what, but we'll slap one more fail. We talked about it. You guys nailed it in the chat saying what the heck is wrong with our boy Microsoft. Ain't nothing wrong if you're long, as that just took off and just continues to go to the upside. So again, it wasn't that, you know, we got out at that 406.50 break. We actually got a good price. We got 406.53 or something like that. So yeah, no pain in the name for sure. I'm not going to sit here and say that we won on that, but we didn't. But we wound up making some back. We're still in that same loss from the beginning. So that last one was actually not that bad, but yes, we have obviously learned a lesson here as Microsoft continues just to make moves higher. So again, you know, mess with the wrong names, understand that you're wrong, get out and just regroup it. We all saw that Microsoft wasn't going down, so I'll have to like store that and remember that, hey, next time this is happening, we have to make sure that we change our bias quicker. So that was that. And you know what else we need to keep? I mean, AMD right now is absolutely cranking to the downside. We got to find some shorts here, man. It's embarrassing that we're out of this name because we shorted it. We got out right there. It ripped to the 50, and now it would be really, really good trade. So let's not worry about it, but it's a good trade there. We just got to make it with AMD. So any side of a pullback, I still think we can look at 168 now. All right, we can play the 50 period. I would love a 169. I don't know if that's coming in. Obi, we keep on talking about your trades, and then we have to throw to Adara. So I just want everyone to know that we're not interrupting Obi by any stretch of the imagination. I've got the earpiece, and when something breaks, we'll give you guys that news. But back over to some of your trades there, Obi, as I'm going to look for. Someone just put a firm in the chat. Thank you so much for that. A firm is now down below $40. That short at 50 was cash as well.
Yeah, so no worries about that, Sean. I'm kind of just trying to get into the zone here, just trading this Google kind of hold here as of right now. Again, day 2 earnings, right? So it's definitely on my watch. We're holding that previous day's consolidation, end of day consolidation. Highs are being held right now. I was a little premature on the longs, but let's let this idea kind of work out there. Amazon rushing into that 159 at the same time, so I am watching that one as well. Let's see how far that one can get. Again, I have no expectations really. I'm trying to just take what the market will give me and just try to do the best of that. And that 17.3 coming right back in on the NQ. Bit of a nice lick grab or whatever you want to call it. Nice little pressure coming right back up through that level. And yeah, the tickers that were already relatively strong catching a bit of a bid there as Softy, Apple, Amazon kind of catching a bid. NVIDIA with the bounce. And what's our friend RCL up to? RCL still, okay, so we bounced off of 125. All right, so that idea definitely did not work that well. But yeah, we got a couple other ideas there. Amazon coming in. Again, with earnings today, right, Sean? So 2 big tech names with their earnings today, large market constituents. So I think there's a lot of anticipation in and around those reports coming out later today, and kind of maybe giving the market some sort of direction there as we've been kind of consolidated a little sideways. Apple's been kind of muted relative to the rest of the market move, right? A lot of the other tech names have. Apple?
Apple, yeah.
A lot of the other tech names kind of, they broke their all-time highs. They've done some things, and Apple kind of struggled to get past that 200. So, you know, it's definitely an interesting look there. Ferrari still holding some of its highs off of the open. Again, earnings day 1 here, 383 is the high, and still holding above VWAP there. What's VWAP? Let me just take a quick look. 377. I'll pull up the chart here in front of you guys. So we can take a look together here. There's a race on the NY. So nothing too crazy there. Not doing too much volume, only 350K, but it is a $380 ticker, a little spready there, but a strong drive off of some decent earnings, right? So race on watch. Are any of you trading race or have had any ideas on some of those names? Let me know. I know that earnings season is a time where a lot of people are interested in a lot of different types of strategies. So I'm curious to know what and how you guys are trading some of these names over the past couple of weeks. We know we're deep into the earnings season right now.
All right, let's go over to Adara. Good call, Obi.
Some news here coming out of Google. Stock not reacting too much yet, but quite a few updates here. Google saying that Gemini Pro in Bard is now going to be available in over 40 languages. Also expanding the double check feature in Bard. Also releasing Image FX. There's going to be a new image generation tool powered by ImageN 2, which is Google's DeepMind. It's related to the Google DeepMind. It's the latest text to image model. So lots here coming out of GOOGL if you're involved in this stock, guys.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Adara. Yeah, we are, we're involved. We're involved in that stock. Yeah, we're short Google right now. We're 65 cents in the money, so we'll adjust our expectations if it was really going to move. I mean, maybe that story kind of helped the market back to the upside. You could see, not the market, but maybe Google back up to the upside, as you can sort of see that it is starting to fade a little bit maybe. And there it is. So there's the bounce back up to the 50 period through VWAP now. So yeah, maybe based on that story, we could stop average. Well, we haven't really averaged into it, but we'll wait for it. Doesn't seem to be reacting too much. I do want to hit the siren because that means that we do have a new position on board right now, and it's going to be Intel. I was still going to wait for AMD to go back up. We mentioned already that we've been having some pretty good success on Intel. So we know this name is a short, at least we think we do. It's been printing for us short lately. We've been shorting some of these key levels that you can see right here. So let's just continue to do that until we're wrong. So we're going to short. There's VWAP 4307. That'll be my out. We're short right now 92. Obviously a little bit higher than where we'd like it now. We shorted it. It just fell back in on that short into 85, 86. We should put some bids out there. The market's starting to get higher. I'd hate to go 0 for 2 on chip names today, but AMD, I felt like we were fine, but we just, we got out a little too early, so let's not do the same thing here for Intel. We'll sit, we'll see if we can get it, and Intel right now, for me, is gonna be a short until we break through VWAP, and then I feel like it's lining up for that. So we'll wait, we'll get a little bit more into this trade. We're not into it completely. If we're gonna wait for VWAP, that's what we should wait for. So we'll do that. It's up at 407, starting the trade right here right now. Looking for a little bit more up near 405 or so for Intel. So this is a beginning trade for us here now on Intel against this VWAP. And it just matches with this bottom as well. So I think it's lining up. Let's see if it is.
Yeah, shout out to, was it Down to Sky in the chat there. SMC, I think you mean SMCI is at all-time highs. SMCI kind of pushing all-time highs there. Very strong market. The market's coming right back up into that pre-market, that Globex session highs there, both on the ES and the NQ. 17,360 on the NQs, kind of that area on of the highs there, and that 14. I guess we're just jumping right into the 14.9 area there the 49 area there on the ES. So the strength definitely coming in there. 159s. Hello, Amazon. I'm going to be watching the tape at this price here. See what it's got. Bit of a strong sell-off over the past 2 days off of this price. If you look left on the chart, I'm looking to see if that supply kind of is persistent, or if they kind of stepped off, and if we kind of turn that resistance, if that resistance turns into support, I do want to be a little involved as well. But yeah, the market's super strong here. Let's see what Google does with this 142 as we're screaming to the upside here, Sean. So some of these names.
You're long, I'm short. Okay.
Yeah, I only had.
You got a good price.
It's an okay price.
Boeing. So Boeing is right at this level right now. We're still watching this Intel trade. It's 10 cents against us. We're going to get more at that 4307. Man, I'm surprised at this market today, honestly. Ahead of the big earnings that we're seeing coming through, really surprised at this. I was saying this yesterday actually to Patrick and everybody in the lunchroom there, and I was saying, like, wouldn't be surprised if they tanked Apple on that report there from that Chinese analyst, and then magically Apple just comes out and just rips everybody's faces off tonight. Like, just giving people a better opportunity to buy into this like 180 area ahead of earnings. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying that would be something. I don't know if that is something or not. But okay, so right here, we're gonna punch out a little bit. It seems like we might have been right here on that level, but it just got up there. We do have a decent position. Let's see if we can start to get something out here. Hopefully back, this is Intel, of course, hopefully back through 43. But this spike up in the market really started to give me a little bit of nervousness. What's happening?
No, I just heard Brankel's saying something in the back there.
About what?
Something about orders or something?
No, that's what I need to know, bro. Yeah, if there's order problems, I have literally
Brankel's, what was
thousands
that
of dollars.
What was that about orders?
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. So we don't have execution. Anybody, Brancos?
At 10.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we're just hearing right now that like we are having to cover our positions. Oh, okay. Okay. Thanks. Yes. Thanks for that, guys. All right. So thanks to Brancos for that one. So I'm a little discombobulated now. We have to get out of our positions by 10:10 or something like that. So we'll have to figure this out. Execution will pause for a minute. I guess we have to restart the servers. That's not good for me. All right, we're well in the money now on Intel. I think punching out is probably the right thing to do before then, but you don't have to, I don't think. And if you are nervous about some of your positions, like right now we have a really big winner right now on Intel. I'm sorry to be off topic right now, but we're trading on a prop floor, so we're not using like interactive brokers or anything like that. This is software that's proprietary to day trade the world. So take it over for a minute because I have way too many shares for this just to be a ho-hum situation. What's up, Adara?
Etsy getting a nice pop to the upside here. Earlier today announced that Etsy's appointed Mark Steinberg to its board of directors effective February 5th, 2024. Then a little bit later today, so right in the pre-market here, this Elliott Investment activist investor is said to have built a 13% interest in Etsy, according to CNBC here. So really nice look for Etsy, trying to make a nice move higher here, already up 10%, guys.
I got flat. I didn't have too many positions, but
we are absolutely freaking destroying right now. Intel, oh my God, this is honestly, dude. We didn't have 100 shares. We add some zeros. We have Intel right now, and it is an absolute monster. We talked about this. We talked about Intel and what that would mean on this short. I have to cover. I don't know if the cover is right. We talked about this P&L blinding right now. Well, it's happening right now. And, you know, like Kanye says, all of the lights, we are blinded by the light right now of the P&L. So I'm just going to start to get out right here, and we'll worry about whatever Brankles was talking about later, because I need to get out right now of Intel, because let's go, baby, finally. Wish we didn't have Microsoft earlier, but we've got Intel now, and it's all good, baby.
Sean, I was just talking about that 159 on Amazon.
You sure were, Obi.
Potential supply area. It goes in. I'm watching it. I got to get flat. But instantly, 158s. Beautiful. So.
Did you have the short, though?
No, I didn't.
It's all right. That's all right.
Yeah, that's all right. But like, it's like the first, like the signal kind of came in.
Right. The bat signal shone on you. Yes. You saw the bat signal. Let's go. That's what you want to see, baby.
All right.
Keep going, Obi.
Yeah, no, again, 142 kind of, I did add into that Google trade, and it kind of comes right back into that 140, 142, 141 area, got out for now, but I'll stay patient. Again, we do have, apparently we do have some execution pause right now, so I just want to make sure I'm flat
that's right.
for everything.
415. I'm trying to punch out, and I'm like, why is this not?
Yeah. So execution is probably going to be down for a little bit.
It's back up.
Okay, so it's back up?
Yep.
You got it on?
I just got a fill.
You just got a fill? Okay, so I guess we are back up maybe.
Let me put another order out. I will confirm.
Yeah, I'm going to stay a little patient here. 142 holding as of right now. Google holding some of its pre-market levels and that consolidation from yesterday. All right, so we are
back up for me, Brankos. Okay, just letting you guys know. All right. Okay.
Right, yeah. So
we did have. I can tell you what it is because Branko sent me the note there. I mean, this is. You know, we talked about being honest traders and being honest here. There was an order problem with some of the executions and the way they were being processed. Didn't affect trading, but you know they had to just restart quickly, put the fix in. It's like an over-the-air Tesla update.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I shouldn't say it because like you don't want over-the-air updates as you're driving full self-drive and they pause execution and then the next thing you know, yeah. So thanks for
hit the brakes.
Yeah. So a little bit of a different example there, but we try to keep things simple and bring it back in. So that's what just happened to us right now, but. We started to clean out on some of the trades that we had, and it was a good one. So thanks for sticking with us. That Intel trade was really great there. Our execution's back up, so I'm going to be starting to hit the keys like a madman again. We're still $1 in the money on Google, so that one's working as we're starting to push lower. I don't have any bids on this, so let's see if this market finally wants to fail. More outs on Intel there as we came back in. You know, again, we don't want to talk about share size, but that was a good trade there. We all trade dramatically different share sizes. You know, we'll leave it at that. Everybody has their own strategies. Everybody has their own style. Like, you're not, you know, Obi's not going to trade Intel with the same share size that I just did right there on Royal Caribbean. Yeah. You know, so you got to look at the share price, what the risk is, and we go back and forth with this all the time. I consider myself a risk manager. We'll try to put on the best trades. We'll try to manage the best risk as we possibly can. And hopefully at the end of the day, we're able to make a little bit of money as well.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing right now. Intel's a good trade. We are now out of about 65% of this. So that was a good one. And most of them, honestly, we were just getting baby fills right here. Most of them, when we came in here, we were layering bids. So when it fell back in, we started to get filled, and I was like, what? And then we just put more out, more. See, I'm getting filled again. We just got filled at 89 there. So as this drops in for Intel, I got to cancel some of this. I have an 87 bid, and then we wait. So here comes 87. We're on a paid gateway. We should probably be on something free. It's going to need to break through for us to get the fill. There it is, breaks through. Now this is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Intel, we're in 30% of it, but it is starting to flush. Oh yeah, Intel's a good trade for us here today. That's that one. AMD. Unbelievable that those were the bottom, those were the tops right there. GREE just opened back up. So what's up, Mr. Long Shorts? I just saw that GREE went right back up to the upside. So where is that name? Here it is, GREE Bio. Been halting around a bit. Thank you, Mr. Long Shorts. I love that name. But there it is, GREE. Boom, boom, boom. And now back in GREE right now, 1.06 million shares. GRI. Oh, wow. Is that right? Listen to this. Brendan's back there. Sharif's not here. 300,000 share float on GREE Bio, and it just halted, man. Hey, look, if you like to dance with the devil, GREE Bio, go over there. It'll hold your hand. Just make sure it doesn't bite you. GREE Bio right now, 400,000 share float. Thank you, Mr. Long Shorts, for that. You want to look at the short float for that because that's what makes these things run, or sorry, the normal float, because that's what makes these things run. The short float's not going to be accurate on that 3.5%. There's probably no Boros. So I don't know what that equation would be on a stock like GREE, but I'm not getting greedy because I'm starting to get more out on Intel. If this comes in, man, we have a 81 bid, which would be, oh my God. And then after that, we'll wait for that. But we just took another 85 out right there. No greed for me on this name.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of want to go back to the point there you were mentioning about like share size and stuff. I'm still learning. So it's like what I'm trying to do, Sean, is like play with smaller size, and then figure out the places where I can really get exponentially aggressive. And I'm starting to figure that out here and there. And sure, I feel like those kind of trades don't necessarily set up every single day for me. And yeah, until then, you just kind of I found better kind of probability in just coasting on those days where those A+ setups don't really work. Use whatever shares, practice making good decisions, get good reps in, get some good trades in. But when those real trades show up, that's what that BP is for.
Hammer time, baby.
Yes.
All right, back over to Adara for, let's go with small cap recap.
IWM up on the day a little bit here. This is the Russell 2000, that small cap ETF, falling a little bit, but seeing a little bit of support here at that 193 area. Again, slightly positive on the day here still, even after that little dip here. Minim, once again, this one being discussed a lot. After market close on Tuesday, David E. Lazar disclosing a 51% active stake in the company and also being announced as the director of its board. We also have this Atera Biotherapeutics running here today. This one is a bit more of a penny stock, but basically announcing with Pierre Fabre Laboratories that they're publishing the phase 3 tab cell data in an oncology study. So nice look up here for ATRA. Last but not least here, Neurobo and RBO. This one is getting a nice curl to the upside after announcing some FDA clearance for a phase 1 critical trial of an obesity treatment. Lots of small caps to keep an eye on here, guys.
All right, we are really cranking lower here. Thanks, Adara, for that. We are really starting to crank here on Intel, man. Downside, I'm going to get some more bids out. We only have 20% left. This is a good trade. So hopefully it continues to go down. And just to Obi's point again as well, we rock with different risks as well. So that would be another thing. Like Obi's shutdown is not. the same as mine, and vice versa with everybody. Sharif's different, Adara's
You gotta
Neil's.
learn to be a sniper.
Everybody's is completely different. No, I'm not saying it's lower or higher. I'm just saying like everybody works within.
Oh, mine's definitely lower than Sean's.
Yeah, but I just say you have to work within. No, because there's honestly, we can talk about this again because we're on a prop floor. It's just the same equivalent. Like if you're trading with a $50,000 account,
yeah,
and you have ideas or you've tested, and 1% a day maybe is a great return for you, which would be $500. So that would be a little bit different. Your shutdowns might be a little different as opposed to somebody that's rocking with a $20,000 account, some $25,000 for those of you out there that are the PDT rule. But okay, Obi, I think we're just gonna wait, man.
Yeah, I think patience is definitely gonna pay when the market's choppy.
Good job on AMD there on the chat. Deuces or whatever your name is there is a good one. You got the bottom wick there.
Oh, nice. Money,
All right.
money.
What about Amazon, man? They're reporting tonight. I always tend to fade away from stocks that are reporting the day of. I think I went over there. If it's a name you're comfortable with, this is what I was about to say, I feel like it doesn't really matter if it's earnings day. Would you agree with that, or do you feel like Amazon's trading a little different?
So here's the thing. I've traded Amazon on earnings days before, and kind of got caught off guard, to say. Just because I realized I trade this thing every day when it doesn't do as much RVOL, and I've built some ideas of how I can be taking some of those moves there, and then when that RVOL does come in on those earning days, I remember I got a little side swiped a couple of times. So I'm like, all right, well, obviously you have to consider different kind of factors there for earnings day. A little bit more RVOL. You can expect kind of some of those average consolidations and average whatever kind of ATRs and how the price action kind of moves to be a little magnified, and you have to kind of compensate for that. So yeah, definitely a little different on going into earnings and earnings day one as well. But this season, I've been doing a little bit better on earnings day one. So it's like we adapt, we get better, and we try to stay strapped for the next season, right? Try to come in with all the best tools that we have. Yeah, Google kind of still holding this area, so I'm trying to one more time there. Amazon, it kind of got slapped off of that 159, but still holding well within its highs. So I'm gonna be a little bit more patient, let the story kind of develop to see whether or not I do want to get involved in this name. Market's kind of sideways, right? We're still holding well within this range here today. A little indecisiveness. Yeah, Peloton broke 435 coming in, Sean.
Shoot.
Wild.
Okay, well, Peloton never gave that trade. So the trade that we were talking about was the flush down, and it was right into here. So I feel like that was right. Like it came in. These were the bottoms that we were talking about. We were, what was it, 470 or something was the bottoms there? We talked about it in the pre-market. It's not on the sticky note. I can't remember the exact levels, but we had sort of talked about that. Buying some there, then waiting for a break back up above 5. It never did that. So this, you should not really be in this name too strong for the long. We wanted it to base out. Then you buy what? You buy 480s. I don't know where you buy. And then we said if you break higher, that's when it's go time on Amazon. Or sorry, on Peloton, Amazon. They had a deal with Amazon. I believe they're selling their equipment there. It doesn't seem to matter. But right now, you might be having the same look again. We're trying to base out right now. Maybe this is the long against 430. I mean, we do know that there's a stop order here that probably got executed already. Its 52-week low on Peloton is right here. Let me just double check it off this platform, 428. So this is e-signal. So you're right there right now, 450. I got to get our charts to mark down 52-week markers. That would just make sense. So maybe we could do that. But anyways, why not take the long here against 428? I'm doing it. It's Peloton. We're going long against 428 right now. Think this is worth it? Let's do it. Peloton long.
Yeah, SPY kind of pushing for that potential new high a day there.
Oh no, now it's going
at like 486. But yeah, no, Sean, that Peloton went SSR in and around 470s. I think that's the price that we talked about, and it did kind of travel a little bit further below that level right here. So yeah, you can see that this is a 15-minute chart. Only about we're almost done printing the fourth 15-minute candle on the day here. So about an hour into the session,
God, dude.
And potentially catching a little bit of a bounce there. What's going on, Sean?
All right.
You just
No, honestly, the next time we're talking about something, I am not talking about anything until we are in the position. But it's all good right now because we've got Peloton long, and there it goes right back up to the upside. The problem is we got 38s. It's at 45. So, like, honestly, like, did you hit that with 1,000 shares? Well, here's $100 or so, you know? Like, so you know, you can grab that. I don't know where it's going from here. Actually, it would only be $80. Hopefully this goes back up to the upside here for Peloton. We just take a piece out because that's what I do, realizing now that we could probably hold this name. The 50-period moving average is 455. I don't know if this is going to go up from here. We did take a piece out right there at 40, I'll tell you, 38s to 44s. So it's not even, and we're only out of 20% of that trade. So we are bidding more. We're waiting for that 425 area. If it comes in, it comes in. That's a good look. Whoever mentioned that on the chat, congratulations, you nailed that one. Thanks for mentioning it anyways, that Peloton. So that just gave us a little bit of a look there. And again, a little different than what we thought. We talked about a baseline, and then I mentioned if it breaks 5, that's where you go back. But it didn't break 5, so we wait for that bottom. The 52-week low is right there. We basically touched it. I don't know if that's all-time low. I'd have to zoom back out. I have a feeling maybe it is. But right there, Peloton, now it's starting to retrace back up. Someone took advantage of that liquidity and bought immediately. So let's see now if it continues to go back up to the upside. Let me just check out one more time before I'll throw it back to you on that GREE. This name's been halting, obviously, back and forth. 220, 240 looks like a bottom. VWAP, although I don't know if you can really trust VWAP today. These volumes, I don't know how legit they are because a lot of them are going to be like market on open orders, like when it halts, so it reopens. But right there, we'll wait to see here as it's looking to take out. I'd go long 3. Watch out for 340 as a top there on GREE.
Yeah, both ES and NQ fresh highs on the day. SPY as well. Apple pushing fresh highs, breaking through its pre-market consolidation high there as well. And NVIDIA kind of coming in as well to 623 halves on NVIDIA pre-market highs. We're coming in right into those levels. So the market pretty strong here going into 10:30 as of right now. So yeah, let's see how far we can get. We did break above that 17,360 area, or we're still within there, but we broke those prices from the pre-market on the NQ. So I am watching that kind of strength coming in. Amazon still looking relatively kind of just holding off of that 159. So I am kind of watching that patiently, letting more of that price action kind of carry out. Let's see if some of this morning momentum kind of fizzles off with that volume kind of dying off as well. So yeah, the probability for a breakout kind of getting played around with there on the Amazon 159. If you guys look left there on Amazon, a bit of an interesting level as well. As you can see over the past couple of days here, consolidation, strong quadrunk, another consolidation here, pops up into 159, slams back right back down, and then again you kind of have a nice steady bid up into 159, and it's getting slammed, not really slammed today, but it did kind of sell off a little bit there off of that area, kind of showing us that there could be potentially some supply there, but until that price kind of pushes back up, I have no idea, but I will be watching it very closely for more like signs of weakness here underneath that 159, and whether that comes in or not, I have no idea. But with earnings coming up today on Amazon and Apple, definitely a lot of anticipation indeed.
Okay, yeah, thanks for all of that. I'm just trying to figure it out because now some of the shorts aren't working necessarily properly for me, so we're gonna have to try to figure that out as we go. $1 in the money on Google, it's not doing much. Let's see about a break. Looks like it may want to go downside right now.
Yeah,
on
I just
Google.
got stopped out.
Oh, you got stopped out. Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's gone.
good stop out. Honestly, like it's the right price. So I like that trade. Well, it sucks when you get stopped out, but I think
that's fine.
Right,
the idea is wrong, kind of below
it's
that.
the right
right?
level.
Yeah,
So that's what we're talking about. So good move on there. Yeah, I'm debating going shorter, but the thing is, like, you go short now, are you just stopping right here? Is it worth the risk? But we kind of identified right now that Google, on this move up here in the market, does not want to participate. So if we do get a little bit of maybe a premature bump up here into 142, but for some reason, then I think that would be a good short, but maybe not yet. We've kind of ignored crypto, but that's why we've got Adara with the crypto update.
Interesting note here, a couple weeks into having these spot Bitcoin ETFs, BlackRock and Fidelity getting close to taking the #1 spot due to the GBTC from Grayscale, basically experiencing a lot of outflows due to profit taking and fee competitions. BlackRock ETF has roughly 2.7 billion, and then Fidelity having about 2.3 billion in these ETFs since they've opened. So really interesting look here for BlackRock and Fidelity a couple weeks into the spot Bitcoin ETFs. Bitcoin itself, you're getting a nice little bit of a move up here. This one moving down yesterday. A lot of that was attributed to the overall market sell-off after Fed Chair Jerome Powell's comments at the FOMC decision yesterday. So Bitcoin trying to get back up to that 43,000 though right now, an area it spent a lot of time around this week. So here we go. Bitcoin just at 42.8. Down about just under 1% here. Ethereum down about 1%, but still above that 2,300 area. Nice look for Ethereum. In general, though, lots of weakness here. Solana down 3%, Ripple down 1%, Cardano down almost 2%, but Chainlink here up 7%, guys.
Chainlink? I used to own some Chainlink a while ago. I bet you Wayne owns Chainlink. Watch, Wayne, you own Chainlink? Not here. Okay, I bet you he does. Most people that know about crypto know Link, so that's and I know Wayne does. So I used to own some of that. I don't anymore. But okay, we just got more long Peloton. So right now we're long 436. We just got a good fill down there. We talked about what that trade would look like. So we just bought some 436s. There's some size there, but it wasn't there before. It just showed up now. That's only 100,000 shares on a $4 stock. So that's like, that almost doesn't exist. If it comes back up, we do have some offers to get out. Again, we'll get out near 40. Then hopefully we can get that 43 again. We got 44 the first time, actually. If we can get 43, then that would be great for us, and we will take that right there. We did get some more out. Again, I'm going to have to refresh some orders here, and I have a complaint in right now because I'm unable to short. Well, I am able to short, but there was one name here that I'm not, so we're going to wait for that. But there it is. Intel, we just took some more covers there at 78. So that's going to be something interesting for me to look at there. Google's were already $1.13 in the money. Let's just check back in on AMD. It's getting close. Obi and I were just I was like, oh man, we missed that AMD. I just had a chance because we missed it because of this. But you could see there's the high. We're still making lower highs, but then we just broke it right there. So there might have been a spot to short 167.30, and then when it broke higher, you could get out of that. But right now, we're starting to hold VWAP potentially at 167 here. So again, we don't have too much worry about this, but it will affect, obviously, our Intel. So I'm going to put another piece out now, or actually, I might just punch out here at 70. Wow, we missed it. I'll put a bid at 79. Maybe it'll come back in. Let's start. There we go. Let's start to get a little nervous now, maybe, about Intel. GREE as well right now just resumed again. I talked about buying that. Who bought that level? We talked about buying this 280. It just touched 317. Who's long 280 on GREE? Not me. But if you are, there it goes, man. Shout out to GREE is part of those little guys. They're gnomes, yeah. But what are they called? GREE is the leader of.
Oh, you're talking about GRU on Minions.
I'm talking about.
Yeah. I was like, who's GREE? Yes.
I have the little guys.
Yeah, the little guys.
The yellow guys.
Yeah.
That's so crazy because I've seen it's going to halt again, by the way, right now.
Oh, wow.
So hopefully you guys took that fill. We talked about it right there on VWAP. I don't know. Kind of a hard trade to take, but yeah, it's funny because I've seen every Despicable Me and whatever those other ones are called as well. I even took my kids to those. Those were pretty fun I
like those movies, really good.
Okay, yeah, GREE now halted, not grew, but GREE, but your account is growing because right now you're at 350. Some of it there, I guess, is rubbing off on me here. But, honestly, I mean, we've been starting this since 2019. These puns are not a new thing to the show. They're just elevated right now with Adara back on. It's funny because I was here with Fabian yesterday, and first of all, we're doing fine. Everything is good. Look when I opened this account, maybe potentially over-tweeting a little bit. Opened this account in 2019 when we started the show. 13,000 tweets. But thank you so much. The followers are busting up, man, like 44.5. Thank you so much for all the followers there. You guys really mean a lot, and a lot of content derived from you guys. So again, thanks for all of that. But GREE right now halted. Peloton, okay. We are now as loaded as we can get on this beat up name. Peloton again. This is a gimmick trade. We've talked about this. If it blows up, great. If not, and we take down its 52-week low, grazie. Thank you so much there for Real Randy. Oh no, Real Randy just came and left. Oh no,
Press the button.
push the button. There's Real Randy, or is it? Where? There he is. Oh,
Okay.
there it is. The twin of Randy.
Yeah, the Bear
All right,
and Bull
I
are
got
there
traded
too.
with you here.
Nice.
All right. So yeah, the Bear and the Bulls even go. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right. It's almost sector watch time,
Yes.
baby. All right. So just real quick, man, Microsoft is taking the downside right now. I would say no surprise because we were short this name, but 408 for some reason was not on the radar, and obviously that was the top. I didn't want to stand in front of this. We knew we were wrong on it, but you're only wrong until you punch out, and we punched out wrong. If we had held it, we'd be right. But someone that just spits facts is going to be Adara coming pretty soon with, what was the segment again?
Sector watch.
Sector watch. We're not ready yet, but I just want to give everybody, because I got the warning for that. So
Right.
in 1 minute, we'll be throwing there. Okay, Intel is what I want to get to because of Microsoft. I just want to put more bids out here, not because of Microsoft, but we're hovering around the same kind of a level right here. So we're going to have to watch out. We're starting to punch out a little bit. Really, the shares that I have the most in, or my biggest exposure right now, is to Peloton. So hopefully we won't crack. We have a level here of 29.30. That's the low of the day. We'll see what happens. Okay, now they're stacking it. Plus, this is, we're going to wait for 425. Again, we'll see if this hits and down through. This could be an L for us on Peloton right now. We're going to wait for 425 to break. The reason why I'm very worried is when you get a lot of shares on here and your SSR, I just worry about that. Stacked offers are harder to get through. We'll wait to see what happens here with Peloton. It just tried to go back through 30 and didn't. Hopefully this can go up. We may get out of this a little earlier than we thought. 425 is our out. It'll be about a 8-cent hit on Peloton. Let's go over to Adair and see what's up.
A lot of sectors up right now. I guess we'll start with a few that are a bit negative or mixed, including finance, a bit of a weaker performance day after some strength earlier this week. Health technology, pretty mixed to negative. Utilities, pretty flat. Consumer durables. Communications, flat, with the exception of AT&T getting a lot of strength from an upgrade this morning from JP Morgan. In terms of positive sectors, retail trade, Amazon looking really good ahead of its earnings tonight. Consumer non-durables, some positivity there as well. Producer manufacturing almost entirely green with the exception of Illinois Tool Works after its earnings report. Consumer services really strong as well. And of course, we need to talk about these tech-related sectors. Technology services really strong. Microsoft and Google seeing a nice rebound, and Meta up ahead of its earnings tonight. Meanwhile, electronic technology, Apple also getting a pop ahead of its earnings. And all of the chips down with the exception of NVDA announcing pre-orders for its China-specific chip, guys.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. You go ahead and
Yeah, I'm just
whatever you want.
Yeah, I guess Amazon just taking a little bit of a short here through that 158. Let's see if that comes in. But yeah, patience definitely kind of today showing that patience kind of pays there. I had to be a lot more patient. Google is just going sideways, man. Nothing too crazy there. But yeah, if you had the short from up here, if you had the long from down here, it definitely gave you some decent opportunities. But the sideways is not necessarily what I'm looking for it. So I did get a little bit chopped up there on that name. But the NQ kind of pulling right back into this morning range as well. And some of these other names, Apple's been holding strong, but NVIDIA is getting a little top wiki right now on the 15, rejecting off of that 625-ish area as well. So let's see if we can come back into VWAP here on Amazon 157.70s-ish area, and we are holding that that action as of right now. But the NQ, there goes the NQ. A little bit of a jump down there. Let's see if we follow in step or we get bought right back up. But that 157.70s is what I'm kind of looking to see what the tape does in and around that area, around VWAP on the Amazon, as the market takes a little bit of a pullback here. Softy coming into that 405 as well, Sean, breaking down a little bit there, pulling back into some of that morning action. Very strong action in the morning there, but Apple not really looking like it wants to pull back as of right now. So I have no idea what's happening here, Sean. But when the market goes sideways, it's a little choppy.
That's just like back-to-back days where it's like, I just made the wrong play, like the wrong prices, and maybe too many shares a little bit too early. Brendan might like this one. We have a throwback Thursday right here. Shout out to my wife for putting this up. This is when Brendan used to sit down here. So that's where Patrick is. And I think her name was Liz, but we had a few different interns we used to run around here. And so that was a really cool opportunity for some students and whatnot to come in. And then, so that's what that was. And we only had one station, we didn't have two. You could see the stage right here. Did not extend, so we only had one desk. Now we've built the stage out over here as well to, so where Sharif and the Midday sit. So this stage got extended out there, and that's the wall that Adara's against right now. And then Patrick and everybody behind us would be this row right now. So that's what it used to look like back in 2020. So a big shout out to Marissa. I'll put this in the chat. You guys want to go do it? Go follow, again, at TraderTV Sean on Instagram for some better, like we had some great stuff posted up on there. So shout out to Marissa, working hard there back home. So, all right, that's that. Intel making the move back down as well. Look at Intel. Yes, sir. I mean, DJ, call it on this one. It's not necessarily another one. This is the only one today because Microsoft can basically take a right turn and go directly down into the gates of you-know-where, because I cannot believe that we're stepped out on that one. But Intel right now is joining everybody else. Down here. Let's put, as of course, now we have to get out of it before we take profits, right? You can't just like be like, hey, this is a winner, and then don't punch out. All right, we'll punch out some 67, 68s right now. As it starts to fall back in, it's Intel. It was my biggest trade of the day and is. So good trade there for Intel. Pretty happy with the performance of that one.
Yeah, disconnect there. Google's kind of pushing to the upside, and Softy's coming right back down. But that Google bid, oh boy, is that strong? Right back through that 142, Sean. So I guess I kind of got to reassess where I was risking that idea. That idea definitely deserves a lot more room there. So I'm definitely going to be including that in today's review. Take a look at that. Wow, kind of just coming right back up into the top of this range here that we've been making. Let's see if we kind of push back up with that strength on the Google. Oh boy, I was not patient enough, and I exhausted the mental. And this is a perfect example of when your mental gets exhausted before the move comes in, get a little chopped up unnecessarily. Pre-market lows, man, it's right there. Like, yeah, the short works well into the pre-market lows, but that pre-market low holds, and then we're getting right back through that 142. Still a little sideways.
Spice. There's some spice over here.
I do gotta kind of reassess that move there. That's perfectly fine. What is the next trade I'm looking for? Potential on Amazon there, but we'll find out. But yeah, what's going on with Peloton?
I mean, Peloton is what's happening right now. This is exactly what we just said. I mean, we did exactly the trade that we talked about. I mean, it just went right. We just got out 40s there. Like, what else? Who next? You know, Peloton right there. We just bought that dip, boom, 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 and out. So yeah, man, we'll take small profits on this name. I mean, this is why when a $4 name comes in, you just buy more shares because you can, and you take less profit because you can. There it is. It's a nice move back up to the upside. We're now out of half of this name. I don't know if this goes further than where it goes right now, but I'm pretty sure this was, faced out pretty good. We liked it. We talked about that bottom of Peloton. It could still break. That's why you get out when it rips back up there. So we go long there, 31 on average. We just get out there, some 38s, some 39s, some 40s. That you can see we'll have a bunch of outs right there. We even might have had some 35s. Actually, we had a 35, a 39, and a 40, so we don't have that 38. Now it's coming back in, and if it squashes us, sure. It's out, and we're done. But we hold this out. Maybe it goes back up to the upside. You gotta have some of these trades in your back pocket, and we do. And that's this trade right here for Peloton. So, you know, we'll trade AMD today. Oh, by the way, I've canceled all my orders. I got to reassess AMD short. We traded AMD today. We traded Google today. That was a big one, man. We're still holding a little piece. Intel's a big one today. Softy, this is, I mean, what I'm getting at is that you could trade many different styles. Low flow names like Gree. By the way, I have to check out what Gree's doing maybe. Names like Peloton that has a bad earnings report, but decent short float, back down near 52-week lows. Trades like Microsoft and Google that, you know, are bigger cap names. So no matter the style of trading that you're looking for, I believe we have it for you here at Day Trade the World and Trader TV Live. So far so good here. I'm debating buying this Microsoft. If I don't do this, I mean, how good does this look, Obi? 405?
Yeah, that hold is
Here, it's going to break now. I cannot believe we were hella short up here at 406, but
yeah, 408 highs, eh? Yeah, that was
make a move down. Intel 40 cents, still at day's low. Peloton trying to figure itself out right now. Great show, man. Thank you so much for filling in for Neil today. You always deliver.
Yeah,
You're like DoorDash.
Thanks for having me again. Not doing any justice. You know, got big shoes to fill.
Oh no, you're doing justice,
for sure.
trust.
But yeah, I'm just trying to trade. You know, just trying to do my best. A little difficult, but yeah, I'm getting a little bit of FOMO with that Google long as it breaks through high a day, potentially through that back into that 143. But let's see how far it can get. We have been ranging. We've done about a couple rounds of the range there. Let's see if that range kind of comes back in, or we get an actual breakout, right? But this strength is quite strong on Google there. Let's see where it comes in. But the futures, man, still kind of muted. It's still going sideways. Haven't really gone anywhere really as of right now. So I'm patiently waiting. I'll try to stay a little nimble, and I'll stay as patient as possible here.
January 1st.
But yeah, what are you guys trading? Our session is almost coming to an end here. Only about 10 minutes left for the midday show. Let me know what you guys have traded in the morning session, how it's gone, how you guys are doing, and we can potentially take a look at some of those names.
I'm not going to, I mean, I am going to steal Sharif's thunder because he just gave it to me. SMCI, he said it was up 85% since the 18th. So there's their report.
Oh my God.
And yeah, that was at 350. So I just said to Sharif, come on, man, you're not long. I mean, 350 up to 570 right now? Like, I don't know, we actually discussed this trade, and I think it was with Michael Noss, and it was talking about taking profit on this day right here. This was the day, wasn't it? This was the 29th. Huge move up, and then fading back in, and you did get a nice move back to 500, but today it's like, okay, see you later, all the way back up to the upside SMCI. It's a good thing that we're not short SMCI, but it is a great thing that we're short Intel. I talked about, you know, the shares that we put on here. Now it's starting to fade back out. We also talked about this was one of the better names for me over the last little while. So we definitely nailed that. And we got to stay in the pocket with what we think. Like Intel's quarter was actually bad. And they continued to make moves down. So in the weaker NASDAQ, especially in a name that's come from $32 all the way to 52, failed on that break on earnings, and now you're back down in. I don't think this is a long until we take this 46. So pretty much every single day, we're going to be coming in and looking to short Intel and looking to short Affirm, which, I mean, shout out to everybody that messaged me that took this 50 short. Like, you know, I know a lot of you covered at 40, but this today is what you're looking for. This is capitulation now, back in, down under 40, and a 5% move on, it might, I mean, maybe this is warranted, but I didn't see any news on Affirm earlier. because if so, then I think that 40 short right there, we could have clocked that and at least hit that back on view up again. But if firm's making the move to the downside, wouldn't be surprised, Obi, if we can go over to something else like an upstart to see if that's having the same kind of an effect. Yes, it is. Look, the chart almost looks identical, although not hit as hard. Go over to, a name that's revolutionizing the payment industry with their great AI announcements. PayPal. I kind of say that tongue in cheek because there's nothing happening there. Down another 1%, and then we just go over to Block, which I own the most out of all of these positions. I don't own Affirm. I don't own Upstart. I do own PayPal and Square, but more shares of Square than PayPal. And honestly, this might be a towel throw because you doubled up from the bottom, and now you're below the 50-period moving average. Maybe just get out of that one and wave the white flag at some point here on Square, especially if we get a bounce up. And on that note, let's go over to the desk with Adara because you got to have money to execute trades in real sim mode. No, real mode, yes. Let's go over to Adara and find out what's happening with Money Talks.
A quick update with the firm, too. I did look into it, didn't see any news beyond yesterday. Bailey Gifford, this investment firm, disclosing a position in a firm. That's all I'm really seeing there. But in terms of Money Talks, the USD still hanging out around this 103. 40s-ish area that we've been hanging out in since mid-January. Lots of economic data, though, to talk about here today. Some of the highlights, generally the theme was higher than expected. Initial jobless claims, 224,000 versus the estimate of 213,000. ISM manufacturing PMI, this is one of the bigger ones today, 49.1 versus 47.2 expected for January. And non-farm productivity for Q4. 3.2% quarter over quarter versus 2.4% expected. So generally the theme was higher. We did get a little bit of a pop-up yesterday on the USD or the DXY here after the Jerome Powell talking about Fed rates and kind of quelling any thoughts that people had of a potential rate cut in March. So just some things to keep in mind here with the USD. Really quickly, too, I think it's kind of interesting here. We did get the European Central Bank officials led by Chief Economist Philip Lane here saying that they want more confirmation of inflation being headed down before they start cutting rates. And so the euro getting a nice boost up over the USD here on this news, guys.
All right. The sky is falling on Elon right now. I don't know.
The whole market is falling.
The whole market is dramatically falling. But, I mean, we just bought some Tesla right here.
This one. Oh, no.
Yeah, that's
the
right.
arrow. I wanted
That's
the
right.
arrow.
Oh, the arrow?
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't know if I have the arrow. I should have the arrow. Oh, wait, I'll have to find it after. All right, but anyways, yeah, man, the market does look like we are heading to the downside, and why not? I don't know what the story is. I don't really see anything. It doesn't mean that there is a story. We've been looking at, and unfortunately,
tanking.
Did you just say Softy's tanking? Because me and you are going to have words about this pretty soon. This is my
I'm just looking at it.
This is my worst stock today, and we were going short, and now, of course,
the same prices came right back in.
Yeah, you know what, though, the thing about it, no, you're 100% right, Obi, it doesn't matter. Trading is about timing. Like, nothing else matters. You know, Amazon...
You have the trade.
Exactly. You got to be in these trades, right? And it's just like, you got to sit here and trade. You're going to make calls. This one was wrong, but it's not even... Like, this doesn't even look that bad. It's not. I mean, we lost money on it. It's bad. But at the end of the day, you know, I just wasn't willing to hold something. I don't know if this is going to happen. You turn this market upside down, it goes the other way, and we're up 1%. We knew we wanted to fade these markets. We came in today. We were bearish. We wrote down here on our sticky note, Microsoft short, Google short, Rivian short. You know, the only longs that we had listed was Tesla, and it's at 184 now, so this is maybe where we're getting a little bit excited. I just put a bigger bid near 184, so let's see if 184 holds. That's where I'm bidding now, downside on Tesla in and around that 184 marker to see what happens here. So Tesla down to 184, that'll be where we bid some more. This is a very, very starter position. We'll put on about 5 to 6 more times our shares if we get into 184. We like that level. We talked about it. It's really 182, but let's just buy the 184s. We talked about maybe 186. We weren't on it. That came in. 186 actually was okay, but once it broke, then it just kept going downside. So really no bumps at all on Tesla at all. We stopped at 186, but we're stopping here kind of at 184.50. Let's see if it holds it. That's where we're long right now on Tesla.
Yeah, the market really, really coming in there. Unfortunately, I don't have enough at 159. The idea is playing out. Got a little lucky there. Comes in very, very clean. A lick grab of the 159. Beautiful flush right back down. Consolidation for 15, 20 minutes. Get involved, and then it comes right back in. And there we go. There's our second cover coming in. VWAP was, I think I was looking for VWAP. I kind of called that. I was looking for a reversion down into VWAP, holding on to some more for if we get a little bit lucky. And with the market coming in and kind of falling onto its face here, back into these lows from the morning, yeah, getting a little bit of a cherry on top on that short there. So thankful for that. Let's see how far we can get. 157. A little bit of an interesting level as well. Apple coming right back into its VWAP. What is Apple VWAP today? 185.41 I have, and it's just hovering and holding in and around some of those prices there on Apple there. So interesting move, interesting morning. A bit of a chop fest coming into the day here, but this Amazon trade, I'm a little bit sitting a little bit better right now on the Amazon trade. And yeah, this is what I'm talking about, Sean. Kind of, I'm trying to work on having the most size when on my better trades, the ones I'm more patient for, and working into them. And this I guess was a good example of that patience. And I guess that was helped out by some of those execution orders going down right when that 159 tested. I was like, oh boy, I kind of sat back and I watched that. And I was like, okay, well, silver lining. You saw the signal happen, you saw the confirmation, and then now we're consolidating. So take a shot. Like, it's worth the risk. So and it happens to work out. We get a little lucky, and that's perfectly fine. But yeah, the market coming down, Softy pulling back in. That I'm looking at this first 15-minute candle here on Softy, very, very strong, right? So let's pull up Softy right here. So this 15-minute candle on Softy, the initial 15-minute candle was hella strong, breaking through that pre-market high. Not only pre-market highs, end-of-day consolidations from yesterday where we held VWAP below. So anybody and everybody who kind of sold off of this, a little bit underwater with this strength here. But we kind of talked about this in the morning, right, Sean? With the way it kind of wicked that 415 level, I was also looking for a short on the Softy, but yeah, had to wait a little bit there for it to actually come in, as yesterday's highs, not the wick high, but kind of this consolidation high wick off of the open and the close of these candles here comes in as a little bit of resistance at that 408, and then it comes in. So yeah, Softy wasn't necessarily on my watch list for the morning, but definitely a name I do watch, as it does kind of tug the market around, or kind of, I guess it's one of the market leaders. I don't know about tugging the market around, but it does follow the market quite well when it does, is what I mean to say. 157 coming right back in here, Sean. And yeah, that 159, oh boy. And there goes my alarm. Time to risk down and size less because it's 11 o'clock.
Yeah, and the show is now over, so thank you so much. Oh, those of you asking, Peloton obviously breaks, and we got out of that one. So that's why we talked about what the idea here was. And that is to take the long, take it if it bumps back up. It did not break the 50 period. We talked about getting some out. Obviously, at the end of the day, it breaks. So there it goes. Peloton just continues its direction to the downside. We've got a big win here with Intel. We wish we still had AMD, but we don't. So we're not going to worry too much about that, as that's trying to break the low as well. Congratulations, anybody that took the trade that I should have. I mean, it went right up there into the 200 period. Like, I don't even know what I was doing there. But that's a great trade. Now you're $2 in the money. Congratulations, or $2 in the money. And I know a lot of you have that. So congratulations. I saw some of you on the chat. That's what it's all about. Me and this guy are coming back in just a couple hours. But for right now, you're going to have Sharif and Adara, and it's the Midday Show. Congratulations on another great show, Obi. Back over to those guys.
Likewise.
Ciao.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as the Midday.